Some things you wouldn't mind being stuck with, like a huge inheritance. But a phone that has to be plugged in just right so it charges is not one of those things. Switch to Verizon and we'll pay off your old phone up to $800 via prepaid MasterCard for a new one on us. Just trade in any phone from our top brands with select unlimited plans. $829.99 purchase with new smartphone line on select unlimited plans. Minimum $90 per month with autopay plus taxes and fees for 36 months required. Place $830 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. Trade-in terms apply. Payoff phone requires smartphone purchase and port-in with new smartphone line on select plan. Must provide most recent bill showing payoff amount of eligible phone. Additional terms apply.
This is Jordan Grace, and you're listening to the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
BWB, this is One Nation Radio. You better get it right. Rich Latta, James Boyd came to give them life. The Blackest Wrestling Podcast has come to kick all ass and drop it 6 feet if they kicking trash. Word, let me welcome y'all to something different. And if you dig it, man, you should let some friends listen. We be getting it in, this on the regular, dude. Ravish and flow, but this shit rude. See, James don't rap, so I had to break it down. The whole network, man, we coming for the crown. Raps in the columns, I keep them both covered. Making the beats too, so the listeners can bump it. Hit us with the rating, yeah, I'm saying it's a 5. Before you hit it, talk, bob your head side to side. It's One Nation Radio, and this is the beginning. It's Rich, and I'm here with James. It's time to listen to One Nation.
You got to unleash the power of the pyramid.
This is Mike Sempervive from WrestlingObserver.com. Check me out on Wrestling Observer Live every day. And also check out your boys, Rich and James, on One Nation Radio.
This is Kenny Omega. We're listening to One Nation Radio. Check it out, guys. These guys know what's up. Big Kenny Omega fans, and that's all that counts to me. Goodbye and good night. Bang.
Hey, folks. Welcome to this week's edition of One Nation Radio. I'm James Boyd, and here with me I have Rich Latta, and I am recording this show, so far, we might have to stop this, and you'll never hear this, but so far, I'm recording, so I don't sound like I am, my audio is coming from, from out of a tin can this week, so, obviously, we had to make it work, however we had to, but, when I saw the replay of the video, that you put up, I was like, oh, this sounds bad. It sounds bad.
Yeah, it was a little rough last week.
Rough. That's being real nice.
I think if you just started letting it settle in, after a couple minutes, it would be all right. But hopefully we're back sounding great this week. Sounding like winners like Patrick Mahomes. Man. What else we got going on? We got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about DeepSeek, which is some AI shit. We're going to talk about the Royal Rumble, which I know nothing about. I figured we could do a preview for it, but
sex before you press record. I was like, he's like, we're going to talk about the Royal Rumble, and I was like, why would we do that? And I was like, oh yeah, it's always the week between like the conference championship games and the Super Bowl, which means the Royal Rumble is in days. It's in days, Rich. I had no fucking idea. I never even thought about a Royal Rumble like at all this month. At all.
Yeah,
that's not good. We are a pro wrestling podcast. we actually cover WWE from time to time.
Yo,
it just slipped our minds, or slipped my mind at least. That's not good.
Dave Finisher asked me if I watch Raw, and he assumed I do this on a regular basis. I'm like, bro, I haven't watched Raw regularly in 6 years.
When's the last time you watched a full episode of Raw? Or let's say most of the episode of Raw.
I would probably say a few weeks ago I tuned in to just try to see what was going on. No, it was actually the second week, and I think I watched 90 minutes of it before I was like, all right, I gotta go do something else. And before that, do you remember when they did like the horsewomen in Madison Square Garden? It was like a tag team match or some shit.
Was that but that feels like that was like September 2019 or something like that, right?
I think it was like 2021.
21?
I think so.
Post-pandemic?
Yep.
I could have swore they had a match. They had a match all together in the Garden. It was like 2019. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I'm probably wrong on that. Actually, no, I'm definitely wrong on that because like Sasha didn't come back until like 2019. So I got my years wrong.
I think it was a 4 horsewoman tag match. Brewhaven, like if y'all can pull that up on a Cage Match, I think that's the last show. And I don't know if I watch the whole episode or not. I think I just might have tuned in for that match or something. Okay. But I was like, yeah, bro, I don't watch. It's not a. He was like, he figured I hate watch. I'm like, bro, like,
who was asking this question?
Finish L.
Nah, he thinks it's just a gimmick that we don't like watch WWE like that. Nah,
okay, it was 2019. Okay, never mind.
On my end, right? Okay, so I was right. So on my end, right? I don't have any problems against watching WWE, but my thing would be like, if I watch it, I'll just watch it on 2x speed. And like, even at 2x speed, I don't have the hour and a half to give to watch on 2x speed. Like, it takes a lot of concentration for you to watch something at that speed. Like, you have to devote a lot of focus to it, right? So like, hell, when I at this point in time, like the last couple weeks, when I need to get through Dynamite, when I put it on 2x speed to get to the matches or whatever else, like, yeah, it's not necessarily like a enjoyable thing to do. It's just something like, you got to do it if you're covering whatever you're watching. Like, I don't do that with things I necessarily enjoy, unless it's like just the audio, because like I can just focus, like the audio, like I can listen to something at 2x speed or whatever, because like I've trained myself to do that. Like, but as far as a whole, I'm not doing it with a movie or a TV show I want to watch, like, and want to enjoy. No, like, you don't get to retain small things that way. So yeah, as far as Raw, I can remember last time I watched a full episode of Raw. I mean, I'm sure I've watched it more than you, because like I'm actually into the things they do more than you are. Obviously, you just go listen to the show through the archives the last 5 years. Like, I think that it's something they do. Like, I like it more than you more times than not. So yeah, like, because like I can tell you this right now, for y'all that think that Rich is like has his personality, his whole personality, he hates WWE. Nah, this is a motherfucker that tells me, oh yeah, what you do this weekend? Yeah, or not this weekend. What you do every week? Yeah, man, like I went to sleep watching 93 Superstars. He loves WWE. It's just he's not happy with it right now. It's not doing the things he wants it to do.
Yeah, I like the old stuff. But yeah.
He too watches Bret Hart matches.
Oh yeah.
That's a new thing. Like, it's the thing that we don't like FTR because we're the real FTR. We're the ones that really love Bret Hart. We think they bullshitting.
Balding hair, you know.
Except it's opposite because in this situation, Bald and Dax is actually the one that's the more charismatic one. In our relationship, you're the one that's more charismatic by far. So that's the one part that got fucked up. They didn't do it.
It don't all come through in translation, huh?
Not quite. No.
Yeah. So I did get my orange belt tonight.
Okay.
So move it up a little bit. Going for the green next.
Okay.
So I'll probably get started on my form tomorrow, and then try to get that down pat, throw it in the audio, and work on it. I'll be on the back porch like I'm Mr. Miyagi, doing the movements and all that. So we'll keep I'll keep updating y'all where I'm at. So one day I'll be like, yep, finally did it, black belt.
Yeah, Broodhaven asks, is like WWE actually hot? Like, yes, incredibly. Do you not see what they're charging ticket prices for people?
Bro, these ticket prices are so bad that the WWE stands are making, like, they aren't even upset about it. Like, they're like happy to pay it.
Yeah. And they're going to get it. Like, hey, man. You got to remember, like, they're not comparing this to other wrestling around the world. They're comparing it to prior WWE. That should let you know the shit that we used to watch was really bad.
It's pretty funny, man.
Speaking of WWE, do we need to talk about this Dynamite main event now, or do we want to wait?
I mean, we can wait, but
that had 2010's WWE pay-per-view match written all over that one. Like the match, like I'm not talking about the post match, but just the match. Look,
there's another one coming too at Revolution, so get ready. But yeah, let's talk about the NFL. As you can see, James' background, Josh Allen has lost once again, and disappointed so many around the country who were hoping to not have two black quarterbacks in the Super Bowl again.
I think that was number one on the list because these two quarterbacks have actually done it together in the Super Bowl before. But I think obviously you can't discount that was a part of the reason why people were mad.
Yeah,
definitely can't discount that. Like another goddamn DEI Super Bowl.
The literal same one.
Yeah,
that's so funny. So the Kansas City Chiefs just keep bending the league over their knee.
Yep.
And take us through it.
Yeah, man. So I'm watching the game, and obviously I'm spitting in a close game. And obviously, there's another, like for me personally, right? This is like the new edition, this is like when you grew up on Brady and Manning, and it was like, these are the two best quarterbacks in the league, and you're going to see them eventually at some point. More times than not, they're going to have to go through each other to get to where they want to get to, and obviously the dynamics are different, the history is different between both of them, but it's like these are the two ones. Like if you want to see the top level of quarterbacking at whatever else is those two. Lamar, I would throw Lamar in that level. As far as the regular season, just postseason, he hasn't done it to the level he's done in the regular season. So I'm kind of he's on that tier. He just hasn't proven in the playoffs in that way. But these are two of the best playoff performing quarterbacks I've ever seen in my life. And every time they link up, I'm just I'm happy. These are my two guys, and I get to watch them do their thing. So, regardless of whoever wins or loses, it don't matter because I still win because these are my two guys. So, yeah, it came down to the end, and I thought Mahomes, sure enough, they were going to score the touchdown to go up 7. Instead, they only get the field goal, and I was like, Josh, it's your shot. It's the best shot you ever got against him. Every other time it's been, you've been behind and you've tied it up. You've gotten the chance to get the lead and your field goal kicker misses it, right? It's been those situations. They get down to 4th and 5. He botches the protection. They weren't going to audible out of it because it's too loud. You can't get, whatever. They run the play.
The screen was shaking. Yeah,
the screen was shaking. The only cornerback blitz in the entire game, they send it on the 4th and 5. They send it, and probably the only reason why they send it is because the alignment of the receiver is closer towards the formation, towards the lineman, so they can get him closer, get faster to the quarterback, get pressure on the quarterback faster. Sends him. 2 guys in his face. There's been talk online from a tape guy that works for the Ringer, and everybody has loudly shouted him down and saying, "No, he's facing immediate pressure in his face. He cannot throw out to the receiver that's coming out the backfield. It's impossible. You are not watching film in a way that's honestly how quarterbacks actually play this game. Nerd, get out of here." Rightfully shut down because I saw him and I was like, I retweeted, was like, "Are you an asshole?" That's how upset I was with it as far as the stupid thing. So anyway, Josh Allen pressure coming from the right, 2 guys. He rolls further to the right to get by and backwards and fight by himself more time so he can get the ball off. Finds Kincaid, the receiver, throws up a prayer that actually is a ball that's catchable, bounces off the dude's both hands, and he drops it on 4th and 5. I believe Buffalo has all 3 timeouts at the time. But Mahomes gave them something by putting 7 on the board. He gets 2 first downs, game's over. They run the clock out. And they cut to a picture of Josh Allen on the sideline, looking sad as fuck. And that's my background right now. Just wow, this guy has played the Chiefs. His last 3 games, 9 touchdowns, 0 turnovers, over 300 yards passing per game, 3 losses, all of them in single digits. I believe the record in these postseason games. I know it's now 4 between them. He's lost 4 postseason games to the Chiefs by a total of 5 points. And then you go through his history historically where he is as far as past career passer rating in the playoffs. I think he's second all-time pass rating. Guess who's number one, Rich?
Josh Allen?
No.
Kurt Warner?
Allen is number one.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, Allen's number two. Guess who's number one, Rich?
Pat?
Yes! It's like so far he's one of the all-time greatest platforms you ever seen, but he keeps going up against number one, and number one keeps closing the door on him. Like it's one of those things where it's like, imagine if Karl Malone was
I
good
popped
in
the chat with saying Kurt Warner.
It could be Kurt Warner. Like the top three guys like Kurt Warner, Pat Mahomes, and Allen in whatever order, right? And then like you look at like touchdown interception ratio, all these things, and like Josh Allen is like an all-time performer. He's like top 5 in everything, and then like the only person that's playing today that's in front of him is Pat Mahomes. And I just get to the point where it's like, damn, I feel bad for him, but I'm still winning because like I get to see Mahomes and one of my guys still going, right? So I'm good. But I also feel bad, like, damn, bro, I've never seen a guy be this good at this position, and when it matters the most, and then shit happened to him. Like, it'd be one thing if he threw some gutting interception or whatever, or he couldn't, or whatever. Like, every single time, either he puts too much, he leaves 13 seconds on the clock for Mahomes, and then somehow still score or get overtime.
Yeah, man. I don't think we should be allowing the Bills to win. Just like them people that's breaking them tables and jumping off of the Bills mop. Like, we shouldn't be allowing them people to win.
Hey, man, this is what I'm going to say. I don't disagree with you. However, Philly won a Super Bowl a few years ago. They just as bad.
That's true.
I'm sorry. The last election, look, Chiefs can't man exactly all Floyds either, right? So
speaking of Floyd, I got to pass a message on from Floyd.
All right, go ahead.
Josh Allen will never win.
I mean,
so like
it's possible, bro, at this point.
Like, me, I don't really care who wins or whatever, but I get one particular joy out of the football playoffs, and that's rooting for Floyd. I don't root for Mahomes. I don't root for the Chiefs. I root for Floyd. I want Floyd to go crazy and lose it.
That's funny. So, pulling up right now, right? Yeah. Josh Allen, 6th all-time in playoff passer rating. People in front of him, Bart Starr. I'm sorry. He played come on now. Those are the first 3 Super Bowls ever.
Man, he might have played with leather helmets.
He may have just broke out of that. I'm not sure. Right?
Did they have pads then?
Yes, they had pads. Stop it. Jim Brown played with pads. God damn it. Stop it.
Did they have cleats yet?
Yes, they had cleats. They had cleats before they had pads.
Got you.
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously it ain't the cleats we got now.
Well,
but they were cleats.
Did they have the 1-bar joint on still?
Yes, they had the 1-bar joints, yes.
Yeah, like we need another bar on the mask before we start talking about.
But yeah, man, it's just watch dude, like, he's one of those guys where you almost feel, for me anyway, it's like, I watched T-Mac in this Orlando area be in the playoffs, couldn't get the first round, and he would be like, "What? He's like 3rd all time in points per game in the playoffs, but he keeps getting bounced out of the playoffs. He has no one to play with." I kind of feel bad for that guy. I'm not saying the Chiefs. I'm not saying the Bills are like some, untalented team. They have a shit ton of Pro Bowlers, but like when we get done with this whole era, like you're gonna look back and be like, "Wow, Pat Mahomes didn't really play with a slew of like Hall of Famers, or guys gonna get in the Hall of Fame." It'll be like Chris Jones, and it'll be Travis Kelce, and maybe it'll be McDuffie, the cornerback. That's kind of it. That's really impressive, because like, the Patriots run, you got Gronkowski, you got Randy Moss, you got Richard Seymour, you're gonna have Vince Wilfork eventually. You're gonna have guys. Wes
Welker?
No, he's not getting in. But your boy Ty Law, he's already in. Your boy just got in recently. Darrell Revis in that year when they got
Julian Edelman.
Edelman's not getting it at all, not even close. So Welker has a better shot than Edelman. So yeah, like it's just That's a number of guys I named. They're like, yeah, those guys are going to get in eventually. I don't see any, I think that's kind of it. Like, it's really like Mahomes and 3 other guys are going to make the Hall of Fame. And you're like, all right, well, second best team in the conference from that time. How many guys from the Bills are going to get in? Nobody? It's just Josh? Okay, fuck. All right. Like, Von Miller get him, but Von Miller got in based off the stuff
He been in.
Yeah, he was already in based on what he did in Denver, in LA.
Don't they got a wide receiver that's like a big name wide receiver?
It's about Stephon Diggs.
Yeah,
Diggs left Diggs got moved out this past offseason.
Gotcha.
See, but like he's not a Hall of Fame level receiver anyway.
I'm not tapped in.
And also one of those things where like, hey, they got rid of the star receiver and like Mahomes.
Amari Cooper, that's it.
Cooper's not getting in either. Cooper is not a chance. Like, he was really good at a bunch of different places, but was like maybe a Pro Bowler once or twice. Like, he has a worse chance of getting the Hall of Fame than like Mike Evans.
Damn.
Yeah.
So I saw
what I said about Mike Evans in his Hall of Fame accumulating shit. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I saw something from Nick Wright that said, "Why don't it's the Bills' own fault? Like they basically like
they should have drafted Mahomes."
Exactly. They said everyone always talks about the Bears not picking Mahomes, but like they traded the pick that became the Mahomes thing. It was like this is the new Babe Ruth to getting sold to the Yankees essentially. Like it's bad, bro.
I mean, yeah, but like no one thought Mahomes was going to become this because if not, then obviously he went first in that draft. Like keep in mind. That's a Mitchell Trubisky first pick draft, right?
Yeah. Like I knew that was bad in real time.
Well, yeah, because we saw Deshaun Watson, and we were like, yeah, Deshaun Watson's going to be a multiple-time Pro Bowler, or we thought he was going to be good, and then he became multiple-time Pro Bowler, and then, like, we don't even talk about him anymore because he's a sex pest.
Look, back when I was tapped in, I was real good at evaluating quarterback talent. Real good.
Yeah. But, like, the Mahomes thing was, like, he was, Texas Tech, project guy, got to sit for a full year, then got to play, and he actually was one of the guys that did that for the better of him was him sitting down for a year. And then ever since then, he's in the AFC Championship every single year since he's been a starter. Like, I mean, both like him, look, all these guys, like the 3 best guys in the league are Lamar. Remember, he was like the last pick of the first round in his draft. Yep. Won the Heisman. Remember, somebody he need to be a receiver, right? Remember that?
Yep.
Mahomes goes 10th in that draft when he was clearly at worst second most talented guy at quarterback. It's just, you don't know how you can put it together. You put it together. And then Josh Allen, I thought like when I was like, look, I get why you drafting him, but he's going to get you fired. He's one of those guys. And then he turned into, I scored 40 touchdowns every single year. Like these are what our quarterbacks are. There is no Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning, like Joe Burrow, classic. This makes all the sense in the world when we get this guy because he matched all the classical boxes we want at quarterback. All these guys were just projects that end up turning into success stories. So that's why you end up with like, what the Colts did with Anthony Richardson, where it's like, he didn't complete 50% of his passes at Florida. Well, do you see how big he is? See how strong he is? See how fast he is? See that arm? Draft him. And then, like, you watch him as rookie, you're like, okay. And then you see, like, the week 1, and you see that throw he throws, like, 70 yards on a rope off his back foot, and you're like, okay. And then it's like, as season goes, like, well, I see why they benched him. Like, that's where, it's such a boomer bust, high risk, high reward proposition with this league. Like, talent is so hard to find, and if you can find someone with just high-level tools, you'll be like, our coach said, I'll figure it out.
Floyd Johnson, Josh Allen is Patrick Ewing, an elite guy in New York that's never going to win because he's playing against the GOAT. Damn.
Yeah, I hate that analogy because Patrick Ewing was never, like, an all-time playoff performer. That man was out here missing layups for game winners. Remember that?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I get everybody making these Jordan parallels, whatever else. Like, if you want to make the right comparison is, Josh Allen is Barkley. He's the one guy that doesn't fold when he faces this guy. He just happens to be on the losing side of it.
Oh, There's always FUBU.
Yeah.
All right, man. Let's move on a little bit, man. As I said, Josh Allen, you will never win, and it seems real simple to me. You play against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, they win. All I hear is I hear the noise around. I don't watch the games and shit. Like, bro, I would hear the way the Chiefs got talked about, and I was assuming back in the day, I'm thinking 16 game schedule, right?
Right.
I'm like, they 10-6 or something this year, right?
Rich, they're 15-2.
Right. I'm like, what the fuck are y'all talking about?
Like, you heard the conversation I had with Josh McLaughlin, right?
Yeah.
I get it. Like, based on point differential, they were not one of the elite teams in the league this year. But they went 15-2, and they didn't score 30 points in a single game. And they still have, and they're 2 defending champions. And I'm not going to pretend I don't have the context of, it's Pat fucking Mahomes.
Hey man, the only points that matter is if you got more than the other team.
Right, right. And look, you know me, Rich. I'm when it comes to advanced opponent adjusted ratings for stuff. I'm a big believer in that. Except for when it's that fucking guy, because that guy knows witchcraft. What have we seen from that dude's career that make you think there's something to what he does or whatever else and what they do over there that just completely throws a monkey wrench at them numbers, actually looks at those numbers, laughs at them, whips down their pants, and pulls out their dick and then shakes it. They've been doing this now for 7 years. They're one win away from being yeah, you could be did you think they were great at any point this year? No. Oh, they had the best record in the league?
I might have to send a delivery, a cigar delivery to Oklahoma or Florida, tell them to light this bitch up in the fourth quarter when it looked like she's about to win the Super Bowl. Yeah, but we should move on.
But I think it's the same thing as when the Eagles played them last year. It's I think the Eagles are a more talented team. I thought the Niners were the more talented team. Am I going to pick against Pat Mahomes in the Super Bowl?
No.
Unless he's missing his 2 offensive tackles, the answer is no. If I'm wrong this time, it'll be my first time being wrong in this situation.
Look at that. Well, so I came across this thing, and James also came across it at the same time, but different times, kind of together. Of this new AI.
I came across it. We came across it at the same time, but different times all together.
Because by the time I think you had hit
time dilation.
No, I'm not.
Okay, that sounds like some time dilation. It's at the same time, but no, but it is, but no.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember you sending something to me about it, and I had already been seeking it out, kind of myself, finding out about it.
Okay.
And it's called DeepSeek. This is a new AI that is.
I thought you were talking about that Jay-Z list. Okay.
Oh, okay. I mean, we can talk about that, but I think that's actually a project I kind of want to save.
We can say that. That's fine by me.
But DeepSeek AI. Now, why this is coming up? I just found this so interesting and hilarious, and just a mark of the con job that has been going on in this country. So DeepSeek AI is created by a Chinese company who develops AI essentially, and they made their own version of ChatGPT, and they get their tools from America. But America, the way they got it set up is nah, we're not going to give you exactly what we got to develop this shit. Y'all can have the older stuff, a limited kind of version they experiment on, because America's obviously trying to rig this shit to where America stays on top.
Yeah.
However, you're fucking with geniuses who are motivated and probably forced by the government to do so. So China is actually, before we get to China, America has, I believe Trump pledged, what was it, $500 million or 500 billion?
Billion.
It was 500 billion?
It wasn't million.
Okay. Whatever. It's an absurd number, right? And that's to go for more research into AI and everything like that. And You know, the AI race is kind of, it reminds me of like the space race, kind of, in a way where it's like, all right, this is just a dick measuring contest, kind of. But AI, I think, actually has the potential to touch our lives in ways that going to space wouldn't.
Yep, Rich, 500 billion with a B.
Okay, 500 billion. Yep. Okay.
You thought 500 million was going to cut that? No.
Yeah, I guess not. I guess I should re-explain the story to Catherine. I said 500 million to her. So, but 500 billion. So they get $6 million in China.
Yep.
Millions.
Well, look, you're overselling because it's really like 5.7 something.
Look at that. I'm rounding up.
Yeah.
And what do they do over there? They decide, all right, man, we're going to build a better AI that's faster, and we're going to drop open source so everybody can just use that shit. And Chat GPT, just like that, overnight became almost like obsolete, or like it became outdated. It became...
It's inferior.
Inferior?
Yeah.
And I believe the day after, another AI came from China that supposedly is above deepfake or DeepSeek.
I didn't hear about this part.
Oh, I got the name of it somewhere. It's something with an A, I think, or it's something with a K. It's like K and four letters or something like that. But I heard this and was following this story, and I was just like, we have been hoodwinked. Not us, because we kind of knew, but hoodwinked, bamboozled, run amok, led astray. These tech bros have basically hijacked the funding in the government.
Yep.
And lit it on fire.
Yeah. The more you... Now, I'm not a person that follows Silicon Valley like I follow like the trades for, for wrestling, right? Or for pro sports. But every story, or most of the stories you ever hear about, like in detail about like a tech company, it's like, especially ones that failed, is like, oh, like the product, the service that they got their funding on to deliver, they never were planning on intending, or it wasn't even possible, right? Like it wasn't even possible. So like it's a bunch of snake oil salesmen and charlatans and flim-flammers, right? And like they get people they get people charged up to think they finna hit the next, Apple stock. And they'll be made rich off the stock for the rest of their lives. And that's what a lot of this is. And they, they get their funding, and then they can coast or whatever else, or they can like kind of hide or whatever else. But by the time people ever find out, if they do, they cash out. And the thing with, places like Meta AI and Open Labs, like they've had so much money or they have such type of, so much clout behind other things they've done that it's like, these places are almost seemingly too big to fail. So they continue to send money to them because they're a big part of the economy in Silicon Valley and the rest of the tech world. So they're like, we can't let these we instead of competition, which was the point of capitalism, it was in theory was like if we provide multiple people with providing services for people, they will then innovate. And then consumers will be the benefactors of it, and then there'll be more employers or employees, and they'll have better lives because of the money made. All that, right?
That don't never happen.
It stopped happening before our lifetimes.
Yeah.
Right. And as more and more mergers have happened, more acquisitions, there are less companies that have the framework to do this stuff at scale, to do this stuff at a high level, right? That it would take for the money, and the resources to be able to accomplish all this stuff. So when less and less people are able to pull this stuff off, then it relies on, we got to pour more money into less people, or to these ultra rich people, uber rich people's pockets, and they're already like not running their business as efficiently as they could or should.
As China is showing.
Right. And then you end up with this one of a million stories in tech.
And in China right now, I guess, like, there's paid versions of all these things, right? It's like infinitely cheaper, like with what they're doing on their side. There's like 0.6% is like, it's like, all right, if I got 100% of something, it's like, yeah, it takes like 6% of that 100 to do whatever they did in China with this AI to run it, and also, what people pay for it. And it's really amazing. I messed with the DeepSeek. I think they oversold it a little bit from like how people were saying, just because some of the information that I use, kind of, that I'll ask them about, like One Nation Radio, I'll ask about whatever. Slight stuff is off like that, but I'm sure if I just asked about more general things, it would update with like accurate information. Now it pulls up fast as hell, blows ChatGPT out of the water. But I think if it's not like completely taken over already, as some people claim, ChatGPT really ain't got too much longer as far as like being, the cream of the crop.
And then there's also all these problems when it comes to, using AI in general, right? Just ethically. Like, all right, I don't know. It's so when you're using the internet to find resources for information, you are using the word of liars and idiots.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying everyone's liars and idiots, but like there are liars and idiots on the internet putting out misinformation all the time.
Yeah.
Should
we start just naming like various wrestling pundits or?
No, I wouldn't even get into that, because there's scammers everywhere, right? In every sector of the internet, right? But like when you have this kind of stuff around, and it's hard for a human to discern this stuff, right? In ways, like I'm sure there's stuff we've quoted in here that's been wrong, right? That's the nature of this.
Yeah.
When it's
allegedly,
right? When it's a computer, when it's an algorithm, when it's a program that is made to think like a human, and therefore it's also going to be susceptible to misinformation. What do you think is going to happen? It's going to spit out bullshit to you, and then you're going to run with that. And like
people are using it like a search engine, and just like for regular information. It's like, bro, it's too much. When I go into my Google search in the gym and I pull stuff, I immediately X out. I don't want that. I don't want your AI result for whatever it is. No. So yeah,
I've been having this issue with Caden over the last few months, as far as like being discernment and thinking for yourself, and like, because there'll be times where like he'll ask me stuff like, who's the best X, Y, and Z, and I'll give my opinion, and they'd be like, oh well, this video on YouTube said this. Well, It's a video on YouTube. Like their opinion matters. Their opinion is just as flawed as mine could be, Caden. Like, you're asking my
also
opinion.
On YouTube, a lot of them videos now, like people are doing shit where they are AI videos, and then they AI voice that shit, and it's just all getting spit from, like, they'll get the information from the AI, they'll use the AI voiceover and all that shit. So it could you might not even be dealing with people there.
Right. Because like one of the conversations I was having with him, he's asking me like, who's the greatest rapper of all time? And like his answer was, well, this video told me it was Snoop Dogg. I'm like, well, I love Snoop Dogg, but Snoop Dogg can't rap Kendrick Lamar or Jay-Z. Like that's not a thing. So I had to explain, it was like, well, Caden, a lot of this stuff is opinion, and there's nothing like actual factual to it or whatever else. People have their own like reasonings and opinions for why they rank certain people the way they do. Most I can tell you is when I grew up in, like, well, most people that I can think of and most places I've ever read thought or whatever else, that's what they thought. And no one thought Snoop Dogg was like, they thought he was an all-time great rapper. None of them thought that he was like one of the 5 greatest rappers ever heard. No. But they thought he made incredible music, especially, and a lot of them think like, Doggy Style is one of the greatest albums of all time. He didn't ask me, could I hear it? But I'd been like, no, you can't hear it yet. But he would always listen to it when I was younger than him. But my point, like, it's one of those things, like, that kind of stuff builds upon it. Like, that's just one small thing.
Right.
Like, and it ain't that big of a stretch to be like, yeah, Snoop Dogg greatest rapper of all time. That's not no big stretch.
Right. Because
he is one of the all-time great rappers,
famous forever, and
right. And he's already the most famous one, right?
Yeah.
So greatest, most famous. It's all subjective. Put them on lists, and then all these lists get built upon each other, and the internet picks it up, and that's how you end up with stuff. And then you end up like stuff like subjective, especially like football, where it's like the numbers don't. It's not like baseball where like the numbers are basically the answer. Whatever the numbers spit out, or whatever War tells you is the answer. End of story. That ain't how football works. So, like he's a Bucs fan. He loves Mike Evans. He'd be looking devastated on TV, like, yeah, Mike Evans ain't no Hall of Famer. He'd be devastated, but he's like, all right, Caden, how many years he played? I did this with him. Like, how many years he played? Well, he came in the league in 2014. All right, type in Justin Jefferson's stats. All right, Justin Jefferson came in the league. His first year was 2020. He's already has over half his numbers. He goes, oh, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, so that's just a small thing of how this all works. This is opinion. This is sports. This ain't nothing important.
Right.
This ain't like, historical facts.
Right. Like, who was Martin Luther King? Like, shit like that.
Boy, the FBI,
I want no parts of it. Now, like, I was like, I want to see what's in there because I want to see how much they're lying, and I want to like see who runs with it. And I'm already seeing who's running with it, and I'm like, oh, I know exactly what this is.
My joke was gonna be like, if you eventually over time, like when you go for your Martin Luther King chat GPT essay, that like 14th paragraph is gonna be from given to you straight from the FBI. It's gonna be nasty. Talking about he was out here, white women orgies is like, I don't know whether that's true or not, but the FBI said it, therefore it's true. Oh yeah, the honorable, trustworthy FBI, right?
The J. Edgar Hoover's FBI, James.
Right.
So I don't know here.
The guy that was out here stalking, the guy that was out here investigating and surveilling gays while he was himself gay. Okay,
correct. That guy.
Okay, yeah,
trustworthy.
Do we have an equivalent? Do we have a sellout word for gays?
I would have to ask.
Because that's exactly what that is.
That is great. But yeah, we should keep it going. All right, man.
I think my favorite running bits on One Nation Radio is like, I never call anybody that word. I've never called anyone the C word on One Nation Radio to my knowledge, but like I always call them a sellout. You know exactly what the fuck I mean. That's one of my favorite ones.
If you would like to hear FOH, you will not hear.
Yeah, Rich don't have that. Rich don't have that rule. That's just a me thing.
Look, it's like don't be prepared to say it unless you're ready to fight with somebody ever.
Right. Those absolute fighting words.
So, but yeah. So, Royal Rumble preview. Now, I figured this would be a fun exercise because, I don't really know what's going on here.
Okay, so who do we know who's declared already?
I believe we do.
Okay. Has the Tribal Chief declared for the Rumble?
I believe he has. Okay, so here are the lists of entrants that I have for the men's and women's Royal Rumble so far. There looks like there were more. Even more. Okay. Were added today. So our Royal Rumble match, Chad Gable.
Okay.
CM Punk.
Okay.
Drew McIntyre. Jey Uso. John Cena. LA Knight. Logan Paul, Penta, Rey Mysterio, Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins, Shinsuke Nakamura, and more.
Okay. Now, am I wrong in saying that, like, I don't recall ever there being a time where there was, like, or in modern times, or let's say PG era to now. Actually, I take that back. Since in the One Nation Radio era, right? I don't recall that many stars being announced ahead of time for the Rumble before. Do you? Obviously, we know they would be in there, but like actually officially announced, like, yeah, I'm going to be in it.
Maybe 2017, where they had all the old people. They would bring like Goldberg and Undertaker. Yeah.
That's because they had, why? Because they had to sell the San Antonio dome or whatever it's called.
So,
you lucky, look, we lucky somehow they were able to not convince Sean to do it. Because Sean eventually, for one of them Saudi Arabia checks, said, I'll come out of retirement.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was that a year later when he did that?
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think the check he was getting, or they offered him, he said no to for San Antonio? What do you think that check was?
Seeing as how I think he got like $3 million for Saudi Arabia, they probably offered him probably half.
Half? Yeah. I would have stayed retired too. He saw that 3. Nope. Come out here and not catch me, Undertaker and Kane. I can't believe that shit. This man was still good. Went out there and did a moonsault to the floor. Neither one of the big niggas caught him.
Oh man. So this Royal Rumble match, a lot of names, a lot of guys over 40. And
it's Royal Wrestling Entertainment,
bro.
You talking about their ages? Look, man. Much like Toni Storm, they're all timeless. Okay, they're all timeless.
And these guys been on TV for years and years and years. So like
timeless classics.
You know, remember this when you were hearing criticisms of AEW, right? To where I largely think WWE and AEW have some of the same issues. It's just the WWE ones don't really matter right now.
It don't matter because their fans don't care about that kind of shit.
Yeah. So like
AEW fans were really hit on we got young guys, whatever. It's like, yeah, but now the young guys ain't gonna get over these old guys over here. So now what?
It's really crippling. Honestly,
WWE was like, we ain't pushing these young guys. Look, you want to get pushed?
We're not pushing nobody young anyway.
Exactly. It don't matter. If you're rocking with us, you rocking with us regardless, without any cares about young niggas getting on. Y'all don't care about that.
Yeah.
You know who's young? Cody Rhodes is young.
James, he's going to be 40 this year?
That's my point, Rich.
So they are also, before we get back to predictions, they are doing Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens in a ladder match, of course, so no one has to get pinned. They are doing a 2 out of 3 falls match with DIY and the Motor City Machine Guns. Do
people care about Motor City Machine Guns in WWE yet? Because when they first came in, people didn't give a fuck.
Honestly, I don't really think so. But who knows?
And I could have swore they were teasing a breakup of DIY, and I was like, seen this before. seen this before.
Them niggas look like Sean and Hunter's large adult kids.
Say again?
I said, them niggas look like Hunter and Sean large adult kids for real now. DIY around there.
I mean, okay, you said for real because well, that's been the case for them for years. But yeah, okay, yeah.
Like, nah, it's like official
for real,
now.
For real.
Like, yeah.
You remember that shit he was with R-Truth?
Yes.
Yeah, R-Truth run up on Cardi. It's like, what up, APK? What up, Triple H? King of Kings?
So this Royal Rumble match, I think Gunther has said some shit to Logan Paul where he was like, I want you to win so I could embarrass you at WrestleMania or some shit. I don't think he's winning. My pick is still the same as it's been. John Cena will win the Royal Rumble.
To face Cody?
Yes.
Okay. I have a different pick.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
I believe that the winner of the 2020 or 25 Royal Rumble will be the Yeet Man Jey Uso. And then he will go to WrestleMania where he will defeat Gunther.
This is sick. He just lost him this week.
I know. That's what makes me think it's going to happen because you know how they like to do it. They like to delay this shit forever until they get to a big ass show and then do it.
This is sick. This is a sickness.
Look, what about Triple H? What about Triple H makes you think that he's gonna book a big match for Gunther? Everything they do is the right way, which is the babyface goes on top of the big show. Unless it's to delay it to get at another big show. I'm sorry. Look, they just had him lose the shit to Sami Zayn, the IC belt, and then they put it on Gunther again, or a new belt on Gunther. So Gunther is meant to put over a babyface.
I mean, that ain't exactly the playbook with him. Like, he usually holds his shit long as fuck.
That's true.
He's the shit out of everybody.
That's true. But we don't know if he's getting moved to another show or not.
I mean, they move them niggas back and forth. That shit don't matter. Like,
especially this is what they should treat, especially since they changed the names of the belts, so they don't have to worry about flipping belts. So they ain't got to worry about Charlotte dropping belts and shit.
I think
you saw somebody. Did you see one of our homegirls defend that shit? Did you see that?
Of course I did.
I was like, man. But I get
didn't have to do that.
I was like, I get what you're saying. If this was 1997, 1997. It's not like
they could have had.
She did not have creative control.
Yeah,
stop.
I think someone else is gonna get factored in. I think the Usos are gonna get put together and fight the New Day.
Say again.
I think the Usos are gonna get put back together and fight the new heel New Day. I think Seth Rollins is going to end up fighting old Gunther because he going to need a reward for putting over CM Punk.
Do you think?
I really wish The Rock would just win.
You mentioned the New Day. You don't think that like they're going to do something where like Big E comes back and then he faces one of them two or both of them at the same time?
You know, it could happen.
Because they laid him out, right?
No, they didn't put hands on him.
What did they do to him?
They just insulted him and down there made him look like he was going to cry.
Okay.
And then they did.
There has to be a reason for a get back.
They've been doing a lot. So the stuff that I see like is on Twitter, and it's like that's my complete WWE experience. And I think I kind of actually like it. Just keep it at arm's distance, but. What I'm gathering with the New Day thing is they fucked it up because they've insisted on using fake crowd noise and they've played it as a joke rather than they're serious. So,
well, they're not. They're never going to be like bloodline, like second bloodline evil. They're always going to be. They're going to be like minus.
Because they had it there. That first segment, it was like, oh, there's a different approach I think here, and it's sinister, and it's like, oh, y'all are fuck niggas, like, and then now
I think they're still fuck niggas. They're just snarky, like how do I say this, like, you know how Ricochet does the Jadakiss laugh and everything?
Yeah,
like it's almost like comment in a way like Saya Kamatani, like, yeah, they're evil, but like you don't think they're gonna beat you up. They're not Death Riders, you know what I'm saying? Like they're kind of guys that they're annoying people that you think you can. Their heat is like you feel like you can whoop their ass. Like the heat is they're beatable, kind of.
You know what? I think I'm gonna pick my man LA Knight, to go to the Final Four.
LA Knight in the Final Four.
LA Knight in the Final Four.
Oh, man, has Randy Orton declared yet?
No, but he's been gone forever. I'm sure he'll pop up as a surprise.
So he's been out since Saudi Arabia? Like, okay, so you know they had a match, or it was Kevin Owens and Randy Orton match set up for Saudi Arabia where they did a schmoz and stop.
That is disgusting. King of the North.
There will be no TNA presence on the Royal Rumble. The only TNA presence will be people that are actually secretly signed to WWE.
I would be shocked. Yeah, like, they ain't rolling no regular niggas out. Like, they'll bring Nick Nemeth out that bitch. Like, they're like, you remember Nick Nemeth?
They don't even. The funny part is they don't even call him Nick Nemeth. They'll call him Dolph.
Dolph Ziggler.
They'll hit that. I'm here to show the world music, and motherfuckers will lose their minds. Oh my God, he's back.
Yep. Like, we'll have no idea. Thought he died.
Right.
You know.
No, I was just fired. Oh
damn, Tessa Blanchard in both Rumbles. You sick. Oh yeah, that Tessa thing is a secret test too. We haven't really talked about it, by the way, but yeah, that's just a test that basically people are gonna exhaust themselves by booing her and calling her racist and all this other shit. TNA is gonna absorb all the heat, and then she's gonna move over to WWE, and it's gonna be like, oh, y'all been booing her for so long, and shit, you ain't got no more energy to do it, and it's gonna be nasty when they bring her in.
My thing is like, what WWE fans don't even know Tessa Blanchard is. They could just put her in there now.
I mean, they could, but they are very.
There's another part about like the Tessa Blanchard stuff. Like
they are very sensitive to bad PR right now.
Are they?
I think they are, because like Hogan didn't come back for which he was supposed to. He did not come back for the second Saturday Night Main Event. Now he said that it was a family issue why Hogan didn't do that. I don't believe that. One of the great all-time liars came up with the reason he had family issues to not appear at a wrestling show. I'm sorry. I don't believe this at all. Like, call me skeptical here.
My question is, at this point, like, why do you want it? Like, if you're WWE, like, why do you even want her?
I mean, they love second generation people.
Cool.
They want, I'm sure they secretly
hire more Samoans. They're still out there.
You get Tessa and Charlotte to link up as the axis or the a duo of evil together. I can hear the slurs now. The
funny part is you see what Charlotte's trying to do, right?
Oh yeah, she's like, oh, I'm about to be the babyface.
No. She's trying to link up with what's her name from Dates Trick Williams. Lash.
Yeah, she's running for office right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
She's trying to get, like, if y'all don't know what I mean by running for office, she's trying to make sure she's going around Twitter with all the folks on the WWE Twitter accounts, basically like, oh, look at Charlotte, she's good. So when she comes back, she's babyface. There's not like this undercurrent of resentment against her.
Have you seen her vignettes?
No, I haven't. I've only seen still pictures. I
am the richest motherfucker in the world, and all these people are peasants. Like, I might as well call all you motherfuckers crumbs when I come back. Like, she's gonna get a return pop, and then like they're gonna try to push the baby face, and then like after 6 months she'll be back to being a heel again. Because there's no way you can make that character a baby face. It's never fucking worked. It's never worked well. She's better as a heel. Let her be a heel. Stop it.
Speaking of that, let's talk about the Women's Royal Rumble match. So that features Bayley, Bianca Belair, Charlotte, Ivy Nile, Io Sky, Liv Morgan, Lyra Valkyria, Naomi, Nia Jax, Raquel Rodriguez, and more.
So did you see the Sean Ross Sapp reporting?
I did.
Okay.
I don't know.
Did you see the people complaining about it? Like the stand them complaining about it.
I didn't see those complaints. I did see another match that was supposedly rumored that they did complain about, and I could easily see it happening. Okay,
so the complaint I saw was like, we don't want to see Bianca and Rhea. When is it Io's turn to win the Rumble? And I was like, you think she's winning a Royal Rumble? You think she's winning a Royal Rumble?
Io is like a step up from their summertime women's champions that they like to do that really don't mean shit and don't really beat nobody, like Carmella or Nikki or Liv Morgan, like that they just got done with. So Jordan Grace is actually going to be in this too. What's up?
You want to go in your video lab about that one?
I mean, I guess, like as they prepare to move her into the tag division.
Yeah.
As Larry Zbyszko would do, but yeah. So the match that you heard about was Rhea and Bianca. I heard about Becky being held off of the Raw Netflix stuff because they want to re-debut her in bigger fashion, and presumably they do the match a year later between Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch, the rematch or whatever, and it's been a year. Okay. I don't know which way they're gonna go. I imagine they're putting out feelers for both matches. But Bianca still does have that tag belt that's still hanging with, and she has Naomi with it. Jade is kind of, not appearing for whatever reason. So, I still feel like they're going to be stuck in, tag team land and stuff like that. Like I could easily see the Becky Rhea Ripley match run it back.
I can see either one of them. Yeah. I mean, there's good reason to look, they need to do both of them. Right. The thing for me was just like, and I see MLK Kid, that's an insane anyway. Said well, Asuka won the Rumble, to be fair, and I'm like, yeah, and that was also like in 2018. Like it's
I mean, that was in service of having to lose to Charlotte. So I mean,
even still, like that was a long time ago. Like that'd be like saying like, oh yeah, like that'd be like saying like, oh yeah, Tozawa's going to win the Rumble because. Well,
you know who won the Rumble?
I'm not even going to do it because that's disingenuous. Because obviously, like Tozawa doesn't hold the kind of weight that EO does in WWE. But it's like we're going to go with a second Japanese winner of the Rumble because it happened in 2018. My brother, it's 2025. Like that's not. They have no care for that precedent. In fact, if you go back in time, I guarantee you Vince was dragged kicking and screaming to even do it. So, yeah.
Yeah, Shinsuke Nakamura won a Royal Rumble before.
Not only did he win before, he threw out some all-timers to win that bitch, too.
Yeah.
Like, Ray was in there, Orton was in there, Cena was in there, Roman was in there, who else? Balor was in there. Yeah.
This Royal Rumble is probably going to feature one of my favorite things that makes his return after many years is Roman Reigns scaring the audience half to death like he's about to win the Royal Rumble.
Nah, I don't think that's a problem now. I think, look, when he go out there and he throw somebody over the top like Hogan, they finna love it. In fact, I think they get a lot of heat if they threw his ass out. I wouldn't do that. I just let him win, but they might be on some other shit.
They got to set up a CM Punk and Roman Reigns match somehow. So
CM Punk throws him out, and then they start doing their feud over Paul Heyman again. Not over again, but like because that seems to be how they started this whole thing in the Survivor Series.
I think I would let Big CM eliminate Roman. You want to get some shit? You want to get some shit buzzing?
Look, man, I know my timeline would be lit. God,
it would be so funny. It would be so funny.
Look, CM Punk throws out Roman Reigns, and there's one person in particular I want to see they feed when they do that shit happen. Oh, she's gonna be so mad. Oh, she's gonna be mad. She's gonna be hot. Oh, that's gonna be great.
Man,
but then again, we just got a whole look. We got a whole, CM Punk and stay healthy for Rumble,
Yeah, like I bet all these niggas is fighting and scrapping for 27, 28, 29. We trying to come in and work for 10 minutes, bitch. I do think we got to get some type of John Cena and CM Punk face off.
Yeah. What do you handicapping the Brock Lesnar appearance at?
I do not take it off the table.
Neither do I. Can't trust him.
I don't really know betting odds or anything. Should they give Roman Reigns the number one entrance just so he could do the full entrance, or should he get the number 30 entrance and still do the full entrance of just walking slowly to the ring while the music just plays forever?
Nah, you give them 25 so that by the time 30 comes out, they'll be ready to come out.
I would love for The Rock to come out and win. It just fuck everything up. Oh my god, I want nothing more.
What city is the show this year? Indianapolis, maybe?
Indianapolis.
Okay.
You can get there from anywhere in the country. It's right in the middle.
Brother. Hey, look here, Caleb Baldwin. Don't be trying to sell flyover country like this, okay? Look, What I will say is this.
Nah, Caleb ain't got no airports in his state. He need to stop.
They have airports in their state. Stop it.
That man got an airstrip, bitch. Ain't no port.
Oh my God.
For landing only.
Oh my God.
No, you can land. We can't take off here. Nope. As far as the women,
wait, what did I say?
I said as far as the women.
No, before that.
Oh,
you said they can take off, but they can't land.
No, I said they can land, but they can't take off.
What? What kind of shit is that? Can you imagine if an airport was on some shit like that? Like, yeah, you can land in this bitch, but you can't take off. It's the same shit. It's a runway. The fuck?
You gotta leave the plane here too, because the plane just lands and then they don't use that plane no more.
Oh my fucking God, what she doing?
One-way airport, yes.
Oh, whoa, what?
Right,
like you see, you are describing, like, you just described like some janky hotel or some janky airport. In my mind, I'm thinking you have just described hell. That's what hell is. You arrive, but you can't fucking leave. Oh my God,
I love it. As far as the women's match, fuck, Nikki Bella. Is she coming back? You can look, but you can't touch. You know, hit the spin around.
You know, I think I saw Bree was on the sidelines at the Eagles game this weekend.
I think that was Nikki.
That was Nikki? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That makes more sense, actually. That makes more sense.
AJ Lee. Oh my God! If I see AJ Lee, I'm throwing something at the TV.
Isn't Nikki recently back outside?
Is back in these streets? Yes.
Yeah. So that makes more sense. So yeah, could be.
So I'm rooting for Nikki to win. Fuck it.
Look, is she allowed? Is she allowed in the building when Mick John's there?
Someone got to ask that, right? Like, hey, is everything all right? You know, Cena's is married now.
Really?
Yes. He married a chick like 2 years after he broke up with Nikki, which is fucking crazy, by the way. Look it up. Type it. Look it up.
You know, it be like that sometimes. You know.
It was like that man wasted them years.
I've often heard when women complain about men wasting their time and say like it ain't about like when the man it ain't about you, it's about when the man just ready.
Damn, I don't know if you can see.
What is that last name?
Shay Sherry Zadea. Sharia to I don't know, bro. That's a long ass last name, bro.
Hey, is John out here? John got his passport, right?
I believe she is from Iran.
John got on the plane.
Absolutely, he didn't got on a plane.
John passport, Braun?
No, they met in Vancouver when he was.
That didn't answer my question.
Is he passport Braun? I don't think so.
Because you just told me he met a foreign woman in a different country than America. That's what you just told me.
That's true.
And that nigga speak fluent Mandarin.
That's true, but he would probably went that Mandarin direction if that was the case.
That would have been real bad if that was the case. That would have been real bad.
She is a Canadian, it looks like, kind of.
Okay. Oh, this is a diverse Canada that Drake and them be talking about. Okay.
She's like, I think the Vancouver, British Columbia side.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, but I think you gotta clear it up with Big John. Be like, hey, you know, Nikki's coming. Nikki, is everything okay with John? We know.
You know what? I don't even know if we even got to do that because look, Nikki got married too.
That's true. But Nikki not involved with that no more.
I know. She back outside, like I said. But I'm saying she, you know. She walked down that aisle or whatever she did legally.
Yep.
She should be able to let that go. And he should be able to let that go. We'll see if it was let gone.
Yeah.
Let gone. That's not even word. We'll see if that was let go. We'll see.
The nastiness.
Do it for the fans. Do it for the fans.
Serve it to us. The nastiness.
Look, I tell you this right now.
I want to see behind the Royal Rumble, and I want to see them talking to each other, just like in the back, like and they peek the camera on the corner and be like, "Why is John and Nikki? This is the first time they see each other in 5 years and shit like that."
That's not what I want to see. I want to see them back in the Rumble on Sunday, and on Monday, I want to see them have somehow end up in a segment, and all of a sudden I will hear that I came to play, and Miz come out and be like, "Oh, you motherfuckers back on TV, huh? After talking that shit, huh? Okay, I'm still married. I got my kids now. Where are yours? Oh, you got none? Oh,
amazing. You got to bring Maurice too.
Yes. Oh. You look. You can't do that. You can't do it without Maurice. Come back. Both of them. Miz talk all that shit, and then they both beat Maurice and Miz ass, and then they just celebrate, shake hands, and leave. That's it. We ain't forget that. We ain't forget what y'all did for WrestleMania 33. We ain't forget that whole.
What you think I forgot, boy?
Vanity project.
You was out here wrestling with the diamond in your pocket, boy.
Exactly.
You know, you was out here trying to procure tears that didn't come.
Right. Didn't you be
we remember you, boy.
John, you still got that ring that you pawned it in. Miz should say all types of that shit about that ring. Did you give the ring back, Nikki?
Did y'all give it to Vince? Did Vince make y'all do this?
Man.
Amazing. That man proposed at a WrestleMania. That shit never happened. Amazing. Oh, fuck.
He thought it was Macho Man.
You were not, brother. You were not.
The prenup is here. That's nasty.
So, I wanted to talk about AEW Collision had a great show. I saw about like half of it.
I saw one segment. I saw the lineup. I was like, that looks like a good ass show.
Yeah, like it was
Okada, Shibata and Takeshita, Joe and Nick Wayne. Yeah, that looked like a really good show.
Yeah, like they came into Daly's place and they were like, yeah. And I'm going to talk about Daly's Place in a minute and how it relates to the segment that we watched and that we both saw. The Okada Commander match was kind of interesting for the parts that I saw. I think we should probably talk about the Toni Storm segment, though, because that one has driven people into all kinds of hysterics. I kind of maintain I'm kind of neutral on this whole thing. Some segments I think are kind of whack or ridiculous, and then other ones I think, oh, that's really good. And then they had a good match so far together, so I'm like, it doesn't really bother me either way. Now, I see people that just think this is just like breaking the law of pro wrestling, essentially, and then I see other people that's like, this is the greatest thing that's ever been accomplished in this company. I think those people are crazy also.
That's so, I am tickled. I am tickled to death from this. I love it. I adore it. But like, let's be fucking real. Like, this is not Swerve Hangman. This is not Hangman and versus the Elite. Stop it.
Yeah, dog. Like, it's pretty interesting though. So like, so Mariah came face to face. Tony Schiavone was out there. Tony Schiavone did not tell her to speak, bitch. In the American Korakuen Hall here, Mariah looked at Tony. She said she sees nothing. She cut a pretty good promo here.
Yeah.
When she thinks about her, she feels nothing. And in the hearts of fans, she is nothing. Tony is a joke, a meme. They laugh at her and then they forget about her. Mariah doesn't care about her and has never cared about her. She was the dumbest pawn she used to dominate this division. And it has to remind her, if she has to remind her again in Australia, so be it. As of right now, she'll get off humiliating her in her hometown. Those words used for a reason, for the freak demographic.
Yeah. For the talkers.
So Toni Storm told Mariah she's her biggest fan. Everything she's done is amazing. She's an inspiration. One day she wants to be just like her. Toni then hugs her, and then just how Mariah used to hug her,
Right.
Then Mariah slapped her and then beat her country ass down with the title.
Yep.
Whooped her. Refs came out. Geeks assembled. Broke
she
through
shoved,
them too.
She shoved Aubrey to the ground. I fucking howled.
Knocked Aubrey down. Aubrey had to take the bump. Before she left, she spit on Toni, and then somehow Toni Storm got a mic, and then she goes into the Toni Storm voice, and she says, "What makes you think I have forgotten? It's time for your moment." And I can't do the voice.
Hold on. Send me the link to it, and I'll do it. Damn it!
All right, yeah. I ain't got nothing on this voice here. I will drop it in the Twitch chat.
The Twitch. Okay, hold on.
This shit gonna fuck around and make you freeze while you do it.
All right. Hold on. Finding page.
As I send this over to James, make sure you get your merch. Get your merch.
They don't. Okay, they don't have the whole thing. Oh, hold on. They have parts of it. She goes,
parts of it.
What makes you think that I've forgotten? I remember every scar. She then talks about she just lost her mind. She went blank. She's like, you are
So like the hardest role you'll play is
from
yourself.
hell, but you came from my womb, and I will shove you back in there and spit you out.
And rip your tits off.
And he's, I will rip your tits off. And then she started gorilla beating her like she was Sting. I fucking lost it.
She also said like the line like the hardest role that you'll ever play is yourself, and that was kind of like the big reveal. This is the performance of
a lifetime. Yes,
and she strips down basically.
Yes. Basically into the backstage crazy timeless Toni Storm stuff. Look, man.
I saw so many people. Why would you do this on Collision?
Really?
Why would you do this? And not on Dynamite, all this other stuff. And I'm like, man, if you can't do a huge angle at Daly's place, where can you do it? Like, I'm sorry. Like, Daly's place clearly means something to this company. They do not fuck around typically when they come there. This building has housed some of the greatest pro wrestling shows and matches that have ever happened. This is not just another stop on the tour. This is not just like, hey, it has to be on Dynamite. Like, it doesn't like either way. And a lot of people were upset. Why would you do it against WWE? Why would you not do it against WWE? Just for the
Saturday Night's main event. Okay.
Just for the people that the visual itself, they see Toni Storm and her draws, they automatically gonna know what happened or want to know what happened.
Right.
So, like, why would they they just people just want AEW to live in the shadow of WWE and never do nothing to be themselves or be on their own or dictate their own terms. Fuck that.
Okay. So for me, y'all know, if you listen to the show for any amount of time, I believe that Collision shouldn't even exist, right? But if you're going to put on the show, you have to put on shit that people are actually going to watch. Otherwise, they won't fucking watch it, right? That is something people will watch. They put it on that show. I have no problem with that.
And they promoted it in advance.
Samoa Joe's return match, Okada in a match, Takeshita and Shibata in a match. That was a show they were trying to get you to watch. That is not that is not CM Punk's Collision.
Thank God.
So
no way we would have got two women on there like that.
Like they wanted the AEW fans to watch that, enjoy it, and then if you had watched it, you would have seen that, you would have enjoyed it. Now, you didn't see it then. Oh well, it's on fucking YouTube. It's on YouTube. It's on Twitter
instantly all over. It was instantly all over Twitter. I saw more people talking about that than Saturday night's main event, which the only thing I saw was Shawn Michaels kicking Kevin Owens in the face.
Yes, I loved it. But my point is if you weren't going to watch that show anyway, you got to see the clip of it anyway. What's the problem? You wanted to see it live? I guess you'd have tuned in to watch it. That's kind of what Tony Khan is doing. Like this is what Vince McMahon used to do when he had Horsewoman match or Oscar matches in 2019 on Raw, and I'd be like, I don't want to watch Raw or whatever else, but they put it on there. I guess that means James Boy has to watch or shut the fuck up. That's what it is.
Yeah, like so, like I saw like over the top praise for this angle. I saw people saying some of it didn't make sense.
Yeah, I saw Suit say it didn't make sense, but it's like
Suit standing on business too with it.
Yeah, I didn't respond to Suit because I was like, it ain't worth it. But my point, I was gonna be like, Suit was like, what was she trying to accomplish by doing that? I was like, she's crazy, Suit. Why? You're looking for technical logic. You're thinking of Swerve Strickland, not timeless Toni Storm, a woman that's out of her fucking mind. Like, no. I get where you're coming from, but like sometimes hey, she's crazy. Is clearly she wasn't trying to get a tackle advantage.
If you ask more than 2 questions about this shit, this whole thing could fall apart. So I would imagine just like not to ask at this point. We've already taken this journey. As long as they've been in this program together for this fucking long, it's almost over. Like, regardless how you feel about it, it's almost over. Let them finish. They're almost in the ring. Bring the match out.
Look, I get what you're saying. Look, he's right. I'm saying my suspicion of disbelief is that woman is insane. She didn't care how she was gonna get back to Mariah. She was gonna get back to her, and she did this way. Why? She's crazy. That's good enough because it was her character. A woman that went crazy because she lost the AEW Women's title. This woman took the title from her that made her go crazy in the first place. What did she do? Something crazy. Yeah. Now, if you're saying it's dumb tactics, I don't disagree. It was dumb tactics. She got whooped. She got whooped with a belt.
It's like a whole ass woman. It's like the whole ass woman.
She's insane. And the whole point was, or the point for them was to get Mariah to get that face like, oh my god, I got to deal with this fucking psycho again. It's not too dissimilar from when one in a million times that Triple H whooped Mick Foley's ass, and all of a sudden he showed up as Katniss Jack. He's like, oh no, not Katniss Jack. He's insane. It's like, oh no, not Toni Storm. She's insane. Not Thomas Toni Storm. She's insane. It was like that same look. So yeah, it worked for me. But I was in on this from the beginning. I was like, this is how it's gonna happen. She has lost her fucking mind. And she is Thomas Toni Storm playing old Toni Storm, and she's going to come out as Thomas Toni Storm, and people are going to lose their mind. I was right about that. And people lost their shit when this happened.
They did. This got over huge in the building, and I think if you're acting like it didn't, you did not watch the segment that I watched. Like, it got over huge. People reacted to this like it was like a legendary angle or whatever.
And one thing that I didn't even realize that she was doing when she came back as the original like Harley Davidson, Motley Crue, Toni Storm from like 2000, from the 2010s and through WWE. I didn't realize that like when she came back, she was doing those skits that like she had basically put on an American accent. I didn't even realize it. I didn't even thought about it, and then all of a sudden, like she pulls off like the fake. She pulls in her fake British accent, and it was like, oh, I forgot how she really talks this whole time. So yeah, I enjoyed the shit out of this. I'm sorry, and kind of how I've been all throughout the beginning of this year is like I want more silly shit in wrestling, like because the serious shit, get this Death Rider shit the fuck away from me. Give me this over Death Rider.
There's
right
that.
Now.
And then there's like, if you pull up, like I was just looking at AEW, I saw someone, I don't know who sent it. It might have been a group chat. It might have been Dan. And there was like all the matches. They added up all the matches in AEW this year. Mm-hmm. And I think there was like 2 of them over an 8.
No cage match.
And I'm like, where the fuck are the great matches? Like, I don't like, what are we doing? Like, we're like the best not wrestling right now. Like, or the best not wrestling like it.
Not each other. No.
Yeah, like, what the fuck?
Some things you wouldn't mind being stuck with, like a huge inheritance. But a phone that has to be plugged in just right so it charges is not one of those things. Switch to Verizon and we'll pay off your old phone up to $800 via prepaid MasterCard for a new one on us. Just trade in any phone from our top brands with select unlimited plans. $829.99 purchase with new smartphone line on select unlimited plans. Minimum $90 per month with auto pay plus taxes and fees for 36 months required. Less $830 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. Trade-in terms apply. Payoff phone requires smartphone purchase and port-in with new smartphone line on select plan. Must provide most recent bill showing payoff amount of eligible phone. Additional terms apply.
Now taxes is 100% free when you file in the TurboTax app if you didn't file with us last year.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, just do your own taxes in the app by 2/18.
What if I have lots of forms?
All good, all 100% free.
What if I had 3 jobs?
Still 100% free.
What if I once saw Bigfoot?
That has nothing to do with taxes, so still 100% free.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
Now this is taxes. See if you qualify in the TurboTax app. Excludes TurboTax Live, must start and file in app by 2/18.
So let's get to Wednesday, AEW Dynamite. So we start first segment, Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega face to face. So
was this Kenny Omega's best AEW promo? In like live in front of a crowd?
No.
I thought he fucking cooked.
I think they did half a good segment here. Because like I was more interested in seeing these guys talk face to face or whatever. So we'll go.
That's what I liked. Like they were like, wow, he's like last time I saw you, you hit me with a screwdriver, the same screwdriver that Callis used, because you wanted to be better than me. You're still not better than me. I almost died. You're still not better than me. I thought he fucking cooked. I thought he was out here taking off on Ospreay. I loved it. Yeah. I'll never be your friend, pal.
So Kenny comes out to battle cry. So it's like somebody heard One Nation Radio.
Maybe that's his big match stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, you know.
We'll see.
So Shivani said it's an honor to be in the ring with two of the all-time greats. He gives the floor to Ospreay. Said he's thankful Kenny's here and not dead. They're used to throwing fists at each other, but he's no longer with the Don Callis family. And said Kenny came back at a really bad time. You know, Kenny don't watch the show. Moxley has the AEW World title. That's something he wants, but he can't shake the Don Callis family. He can't do it on his own. Kenny didn't taste the mic. Kenny also looks dead serious this whole time, and it's like a total change of demeanor from the past 2 weeks, which is a change of demeanor from World's End. So it's like I'm constantly confused at like whatever. He has like the energy here is like not happy-go-lucky anymore. He looks pissed.
Can you give me a description of what you mean as far as the demeanor changes? Like, what was he looking like when he first came in with like the Okada thing, and then ever up to now?
So when he first came in with the Okada thing, he almost came out as like he was like this non-wrestler almost, and he was just like
EVP.
And he was like happy to be there. Kind of, there was something. He's coming to present a belt. He was here to do a job, essentially. Like there's not really much here. Then he's back after, of course, legendary match in the Dome, incredible presentation, blah blah blah, the real shit. He comes back to AEW and he's like, "This, I don't know if I can do it, motherfucker." Like, I all shucks kind of guy. And
incomplete, like I guess you're saying like incomplete, like the completely detached from like the reality that he just had like the match of the year so far,
right?
Just a couple days before.
Very low energy.
Okay.
And all that. And then, he has the match with Cage, and we talked about that last week. The, mixed feelings on it. It was cool, but wasn't
blow away.
Yeah. And then here he comes out, and he feels like a heel to me this week. And, he's got the hair pulled back. And then he says, and he kind of, the way he said this stuff was kind of asshole-ish or whatever. It wasn't like, I didn't think it was, almost like a trying to be clever. He was like, "No, nigga, like this is it. These are the facts, nigga." Like he basically takes the mic away, tells Ospreay to stop. He says Omega said Ospreay didn't remember the last time they faced each other in the ring, so he reminds him it was Forbidden Door. He nearly broke my neck. He stabbed him
right
in the head with a screwdriver. Omega said what makes him better than Callis is because Ospreay was trying to prove he was the best and better than Kenny. Something he doesn't believe then. He doesn't believe it now. It took diverticulitis and Kenny being out for a year to even make people realize who Will Ospreay was. But now that number one is back, Ospreay can go back to being number two because he will never trust or help someone like Ospreay.
Yeah, I like that because it's like these two had real smoke, right? And then like Ospreay trying to be like, yeah, there's some shit going on, so let's be friends. And like, as you mentioned, like Kenny Omega in kayfabe does not watch the show when he's not on it. He's much like Brock Lesnar. So like, he's like, yeah, like let me stop you there. Last time I was on this show, you stabbed me with a sledge or with a screwdriver. I'm not doing shit for you. In fact, like, that's about as close as Kenny Omega gonna get to saying go fuck yourself without being on BTE. So I was like, oh, okay.
So immediately as I'm waiting for Ospreay to respond to this, and I'm kind of hanging on the edge of my chair, then Don Callis' music hits, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like, and I'm just like more like, and I'm just pissed, like immediately.
I was with you until Kenny Omega was now my favorite running gag in pro wrestling, which is Kenny Omega running down the cone, whoop Don Callis' ass.
And then he immediately gets attacked by Takeshita and Fletcher. And at this point, I'm like, more fucking heat, bro. I'm pissed at this point. I'm like, they cut Ospreay off, and I'm like, I wanted to hear what he was going to say back. I feel like that's a real big kind of plot hole here. This is a key to whatever the fuck.
I think, one, they kind of, there are two things. They could be waiting to actually say it in the second promo eventually, as far as them actually like fully, instead of just saying like, we are business partners because we have a common thing to fight against, as opposed to like, he can say that kind of stuff to finally like become friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what? I did fuck up. My bad. I was tripping when I stabbed you with that shit. My bad, dog. I didn't mean to almost kill you. My bad. Like, I did, but like, I regret it. Like, I think there's still time for that. Will they get to it? There's no guarantee they will, but like, that's a nice piece to get back to eventually, if they are to get back to that part.
I just don't know about them getting back to it, because like at the end of the brawl, which went on long as fuck, like, which was, you know, kind of an epic brawl in itself. Crowd was like really into it, and
it was a 2v4.
Yeah, like so it was, or like they had
or 4.5, because Callis was in there stomping the shit out of them at points.
Yeah, they had to go around to it was, you know, they were in Tennessee, so it was almost like a concession stand brawl, so to say.
Rich, when I saw that build, I had no idea what building it was until I saw the stands. I was like, oh shit, this is where like this is when the pro wrestling and the CrossFit like comes into like that's the Nashville like Civic Coliseum, like that's where like semifinals for like North American East side is from. Like, they basically split North America in half, and then like half of the top 30 go here, the other half go to California, and like the top 8 or whatever number it is, like from that competition that weekend, go to the CrossFit Games. It's in that, it's called Syndicate Crown. Like, that's where they have it every year. That's what I have it this year too. So I saw like the orange seats. I was like, is that? Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't recall ever seeing that for wrestling. I just remember only seeing it for CrossFit. That's crazy.
Right. Yeah. So like, as I mentioned, Takeshita and Fletcher were already on their ass, but then also Cage and Archer were out there. So as James mentioned, 2-on-4. Eventually, you know, they get rid of like. Archer. Yeah, Archer, I believe. They throw him through a table, if I'm not mistaken.
It was a double vertical suplex.
Yeah. And like they finally work together. Kenny's hair looks insane by this point.
Yeah.
So this whole thing all kind of builds to Ospreay like kind of jumping away onto the wall like some Spider-Man shit away from Fletcher, but he's climbing, and it looks like he's clearly setting up for this big moonsault. Kenny's scaling one of the stanchions, much like, you know, you might have seen it in the Tokyo Dome, like something that I seen Ospreay do at the Dome before. And it builds to this double.
No, Omega's done it. He did it against Jericho, didn't he?
You know, I'm not sure.
He didn't do a diving moonsault off one of them big rig things in 2018.
Put it like this: I know Ospreay did it. Like he did it in that 4-way match.
He definitely did.
So this thing builds to the double moonsault, basically, of Ospreay and Omega onto below, and they completely like miss Kenny Omega's, and then like Ospreay's gets like the perfect, like they get the shot on him, and I'm just like, did they fucking miss this shot? Like, and I was like, this nigga like could it like at least show it, at least don't fuck up the camera angle here. Like, if he's gonna take this huge risk, at least show it. So luckily throughout the show, they come back with another camera angle, and I'm like, all right, thank you. But in real time, I was furious. I was already pissed at Ospreay not being able to respond. And then I see the camera angle, and I'm like, they fucking blow. I'm like, bro, I'm ready to fire the staff. Fire the staff now. Like, get some new niggas in here that can capture pro wrestling the way it's meant to be captured. Fuck. So
the answer is less cameras, not more.
Like, then Kenny gets back up there with the mic, essentially, them niggas scatter like hoes. Don Callis family, and then basically Kenny said, I'm sorry. It should have been me that apologizes to you. They're cool now after 10 minutes of fighting. And then
it's fine for their lives.
Yeah, there's going to be Grand Slam. It's going to be Ospreay and Omega versus Takeshita and Fletcher. He called Takeshita his young boy, essentially. And then he said, actually, now hit my music. Good night, bang. Because I'm afraid of heights. Holla. And I'm out of there. Crowd's going insane for this.
Yep. I thought they ate up the entire brawl and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people
I loved it too.
A lot of people said this felt like one of those classic AEW segments, to begin the show, the fighting elements and stuff like that. I didn't get all that. I liked it, but I'm not quite there with you.
I enjoyed the shit out of it. I think the main thing is you're not into the part where Kenny Omega's not immediately being put into the title scene or put to top singles guy. I think you're still stuck on that, and there's nothing wrong with that because at this point he should be. But I really enjoy what him and Ospreay are doing right now with the Callis stuff, and I think that match is gonna be fucking awesome too.
So they got to get a name. I best one I think I've heard is the One Winged Assassins. Personally, I think that goes.
You didn't like the Golden Bruvs?
Golden Bruvs goes too. Despite
I know the shit that Sam gets stepped into.
Yeah, bro. That shit is so funny.
They was on his ass.
They was on Sam. They was like, the golden is for Kota Ibushi.
Look. When I saw it, I was like, she kind of right. I don't care, but she right. Whatever. Yeah. But bro, that shit had 200 likes. I was like, damn. Damn.
They don't play.
They don't play. They do not play. Look, and I said to see y'all in a different thing. I was like, look, man, the female Golden Lovers stands, the Elite stands, the Shield stands, and the Bloodline stands. They're all separate sections of the fanfic site. Do not piss them off. Don't besmirch the name. I said that I just
get your back straight.
Yeah. Don't be shocked when they on your ass. Tread lightly. That's all I'll say.
So they do they go from Kenny Omega looking like the fucking Stardust promotion to Jon Moxley in a fucking hallway. And I immediately am more just pissed, what the fuck is this? And then we showed a video package of Pac in AEW. He said Copeland went to sleep in 2021 and woke up in 2025 not knowing what he's got himself into.
I fucking howled when he said that.
He said there's plenty of weak individuals here. Moxley's more than willing to throw them onto the pile. Mox said Cope's neck's hanging on by a thread, just like Bryan Danielson's, as he put out of his misery along with Darby Allin. When Cope goes to the doctor and gets bad news, Moxley won't lose sleep. He doesn't have time to sleep. He doesn't have time for relics of the past when he's trying to build a future. He's doing a sit down on YouTube with Renee.
Yeah,
and then Renee's staring at him the whole time, like, nigga, like, do I have to tell all these niggas to go home? Like, do I have to put your ass in check? She had
because it was a home gym, it was his own version of the dungeon. Yeah, with Claudio.
So I will tell all these niggas to go home. So stop playing with me,
There's a segment coming up on Dynamite that you were reviewing. I was like, "Yep, see." Well, go ahead.
Yeah. So up next, we got perhaps one of the saddest things I've seen in the history of AEW. We got the Hurt Syndicate versus Private Party here, and
sad?
Bro, I thought this was I thought the match was fine. I don't have
good. I thought it told a very good story.
I don't have a problem with that, but I think the way that they booked Private Party manifested itself in this match as they were being baby faces and the crowd was booing them as they were breaking up pins and stuff like that. And I just felt bad for the guys. And it was just what do you tell these guys? Like I said last week, you didn't try with these guys. You didn't give them a chance. You gave them nothing. And ultimately you threw them to the side, and anything you could have built with them, thrown down the drain, off of your own negligence. This is an institutional failure. Like, I hope Private Party don't think that they fucked this up. Like,
I don't think they do either.
Yeah. So like, it's just really interesting, like to think about like some of the missteps. For one, Tony Khan changing the music back to shots after, you know, they won the championships when they had already rebranded themselves this summer with the new song, the flex on them stuff, took away their evolution. So not only do they not get to step into like, you know, kind of a different, paint themselves in a different light, they're still now the shots guys that everybody's seen since 2019. So it's like you're taking even less of their ability away to connect with that. You don't book them on Dynamite forever, and you send them to Collision, which is fine. You put them on Collision. But if you want to show us that you're serious, typically it's on this show. You don't do that. You got the Hurt Business. They're not trying to get booed by nobody. They're cool. They're over. They're aggressive. They're big.
They did. I mean, the whole match was built to get like sympathy on Isaiah Cassidy, and especially Quinn when Quinn had to go alone. But it just didn't work because the crowd really likes Bobby fucking Lashley. They love Bobby Lashley.
They fundamentally misread the match. Whoever laid it out, because like this reaction was coming because of how they treated these guys.
I don't disagree, but I thought this still was a good story for like, look. They are the heels. They are like Hurt Syndicate are really heels. Private Party are really baby faces. These are the circumstances of what happened. I thought it was a dynamic story they told. It's a classic story being told. In fact, it's not different from what happened in one of those Young Buck matches, where like one of them had to go alone for forever. And I thought the match was well done. And I thought like, look. I get it. Like, the crowd just didn't want... The crowd wanted the title change. The crowd wanted Bobby Lashley with a belt. And they gave him all of that. And they wanted to see little niggas get thrown by big niggas. And big niggas obliged. And little niggas had to get thrown around. And they really enjoyed it. And look, there's another match on this card where a little nigga got thrown around a lot by a big nigga. And the crowd loved it when that little nigga got thrown around. It was Julia Hart versus Jamie Hayter, but nonetheless, same format. Big nigga got threw around little nigga, and they were loving that big nigga throwing that little nigga around. Oh. Hey, look, I have some apologies. I have some apologies, Julia Hart, after when we get to that match. But man, like, there was a night. Look, Knoxville, they wanted to see big niggas throw around little niggas, and they obliged on that show. It was fun. I enjoyed that match. I really did. I think they got to figure out something new for a Private Party because, as you mentioned, institutional failure. They deserve better than this. But I am not going to pretend that I am not more excited for a team that I think has real juice with the crowd and with the booker because of the money they're getting made to make something work with them in the tag division, rebirth this tag division in a real way. I think they actually have a viable tag team besides the Young Bucks and FTR right now in them. So I'm not, I get it, but I don't think this was a total waste. I don't think it was a total waste.
I wonder who's going to work with them. That's my question. Like, it seems like they're setting up moving parts with maybe the Hounds of Hell, Gates of Agony, different people around. Eventually FTR will stop running away, or they could just retreat to the Trios division because they don't, want to do anything. But I don't know. After that, Mark Briscoe checks on Zay and Quinn. Lashley.
Think that's the Trios in the future?
Possibly.
Would you have preferred that was Garcia?
Yes, or Kingston.
Oh,
whenever
yeah.
he comes
but Kingston,
back.
We don't know how long Kingston.
Oh, he's not come back for a while. So, but yeah, Garcia should be. They gave up on that. Like, we know they fought with each other. The people fuck with that too.
Right. I mean, there was a sign. Was it last week? There was a sign with all three of them, like together.
The fans are giving them the answers. Like, they did then we got We got Mariah May and Toni Storm video package. Then Mariah came out and she was talking about AEW doesn't deserve her. She can't wait to meet Toni Storm on Collision, so there's a promotion for it. Yep. She's interrupted by Harley Cameron, who interrupts and wishes her good luck. Then she said there's no reason Cameron can't wrestle her in Australia. They both start the most Australian segment in the history of All Elite Wrestling that made Sam Brown squirrel in his chair like a small girl. He never felt more represented watching this. I knew nothing what the fuck they were saying. I said, this is Sam Brown coded in the forums. Renee had no idea what was going on. Perfect.
Local promotion.
Yeah. Alex Marvez was then backstage with Jeff Jarrett. And I was like, oh, great. Who they immediately got cut off by Karen Jarrett. She said Jeff was getting down in the mud with MJF last week. That's not who he is anymore. She didn't like it, so they were retconning all this shit. Jeff cut her off.
Someone at radio was like, "We do not want to hear you call women whores and all this kind of stuff. Knock it off. Thank you." Jeff
cut her off. Said he's got this. Music hits. He gave her a kiss. Went out to the arena.
One thing I would like, look, if y'all got notes about like not, throwing women under the bus as being like insults for their by basically calling women whores, like maybe give Karen Jarrett like a couple more words to get through to her husband. As opposed to just be like, "Yeah, I got it. Get out the way." Like he cut her off immediately.
Get out the way now.
Like she's like, "Honey, I don't want you doing that." "Yeah, I got it. Bye." I was like, damn.
So, yeah, I think things were radically changed, and for the better.
Good.
And for the long run.
Good.
On this.
Good. This was actually something I didn't hate this week.
So, Jared said it was great to be back in Knoxville in a volunteer state. He was wondering what he was going to say here, and he had a memory of Jerry Lawler, who got no pop. That's right. No pop. Don't bring that name up.
Do you think that he told them he was going to mention Jerry Lawler's name?
Fuck no.
I don't either, and I guarantee you when that name when he said that name, I know that he was backstage. He's like, "Fuck, fuck."
If you're Tony, you just hear that name and you fucking cringe. You be like, "Damn, they about to clip me up for a week."
Like, look, was there a headset ripped off and discussed?
I don't think it got that far. It was just like, oh fuck, and then how's he gonna get out of this? Like.
Because look, the name gets said, and you're like, what's he about to say next?
Yeah.
What's he about to say next?
He said he got his ass kicked in the ring that night, and he got some verbal jabs before heading to the back. Lawler told him don't ever get in the gutter with his opponent, and Jarrett remembered that advice and said MJF will find out exactly who the last outlaw is. They'll settle this Southern style, no lights, no camera. He's taking MJF out to the woodshed to beat his ass. Jarrett said he wants to talk about the fans who inspired him to enter the Owen Hart Cup last year and gave him the gift of a 57-year-old man that could become the AEW world champion. I was just like, hearing him say he was 57 years old and putting my hands over my eyes. I was just like,
I don't mind that, because that just tells me it just tells me the end is near. His ass will be off TV soon. Everybody knows you're not supposed to do that in pro wrestling, expose how old a guy is unless you finna take them off soon. So I was like, yes, look, when is it 58? When can we lie and get him to 60 so we know he's finna take his ass out of here soon?
So Jarrett said it's time to get down to business, and he calls out Jon Moxley, who does not come out. He said he was ready for Moxley, but then he got attacked by Claudio Castagnoli, who basically said nobody's getting to Moxley without going through him first.
I fucking love that, because what was it, like a couple weeks ago, me, you were talking about like I forgot what it was with Claudio. I was like, his role is clear. Like, he's protected because he's a gatekeeper. You gotta beat him to get to the championship. And sure enough, that man came out there and said, my role is you have to beat me to get to the champion. For all you dumb motherfuckers that don't get, not you, but like for people that don't understand it or get it, he's like, yes, this is what a gatekeeper is. You gotta beat him to get a title shot in this era where wins and losses don't matter and there are no rankings. You gotta beat a 6'5" nigga that's strong as any other person in the world to go get a title shot. So yeah, I was fine with that. I was like, yes.
Sometimes.
That's exactly what that means.
Sometimes you gotta beat Claudio.
Sometimes Claudio don't want to wrestle. Sometimes you don't get to wrestle Claudio. That's true.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't.
So he gave one last advice to the last outlaw. He said to stay out their business. He wanted to leave, and Jarrett recovering. He said Claudio's gonna have to kill him to stop him. Claudio slowly turned around. He's leaving through the crowd, by the way. He said if Jarrett beats Claudio, how about he get an AEW World Title shot next week? And then Claudio said beating Jarrett lifeless is an interesting proposition. He'll see him next week. Jarrett celebrated. And immediately I was like, if Jeff Jarrett beats Claudio Castagnoli after he fucking saw through Darby Allin twice and threw him down the stairs, I'm gonna fucking explode.
I don't think that's happening. I think MJF is fucking this up for Jarrett. Also, like, look, 50, you said 57, right?
Or could they let him win this one and then cost him in the title match?
I don't think we're going that far at all because, like, of the Hangman thing. Like, Hangman MJF is clearly direction. So I don't think any of this stuff I think it's all subterfuge to get a send off for Jarrett and then get to MJF versus Hangman.
Yeah. So after that,
and I think like they're going to use they're using the Daniels retirement plus MJF to turn Heyman back babyface.
They got we'll get to that in a minute. Highlight video from Megan Bayne. And they showed her debut last week in the Gauntlet. We then got to Swerve Strickland defeating AR Fox. So AR Fox was coming to the ring. He was doing the old Booker T, where they don't let you talk on a microphone, so you cutting your promo in the camera as you walk into the ring. He's yelling. I can't really make out what he says. It was almost like the energy felt like I'm out of jail, essentially, like I'm out of Guantanamo Bay. And I'm here on the show, and I'm gonna show y'all motherfuckers I'm not someone to be fucked with, essentially. This didn't go too long, but I think Swerve and AR Fox can wrestle each other at 70 years old.
And it was good.
Yes, and it will always like be a certain level.
Yeah. It was jarring to see how much bigger Swerve is than AR is now. Like he was always sort of bigger, or at least in the last couple of years anyway. In AEW, he was like obviously he had weight on, but now it's like looks like they're in two different weight classes. Like they're they're separated by two different weight classes. Not like one's a little like has 5 pounds, like one has 15 pounds on the other.
They showed Ricochet during this match, watching with the gold scissors in his pocket.
Nah, we not finna just talk about the scissors in the pocket square spot. This man had on a black sequined turtleneck on. He has taken the Christian Cage game and taken it to a whole different stratosphere of asshole heat. This was fantastic.
Bro,
it was fantastic.
He looked so much. He looked like he related to that nigga, bro. That
I know you're talking about. Yeah,
you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I didn't think about that part. I was just focused. I was like, is that sequined? That's awesome. That's my that's awesome. He's an asshole. That's exactly what I thought. This is great.
So we came back from basically the break. Fox hit a spring moonsault for the ropes to the outside. He went for a follow up inside. Swerve gave him the fireman's carry into the power slam. He then hit the diving uppercut to the back, and he said he was going to go up for the house call. But then Ricochet ran out to the apron with the scissors trying to stab Swerve, but he couldn't get to him. Prince Nana had the steel pipe that he procured from Riho. He made the big call to Big Riho and was like, "Hey, is it okay if I am bestowed with the pipe for this evening?" And then she basically told him the location in the truck. This is where you can find it. He chases Ricochet off. Swerve finishes him off with the Rowan Flatliner house call, Swerve stomp, basically the 1, 2, 3 to him. And after the match, Swerve offered a handshake to Fox, and then Ricochet got shown on the screen. He said next week everyone's gonna be forced to hear what he has to say, and he's holding the scissors up to Prince Nana's neck like he's like, I will gut you like a fish. And he said there's a new landlord in town and rent is due, and he bailed before Swerve could.
Yeah, it's like it's maybe Swerve's house, but it's new landlord and rent's due. Yeah,
yeah,
that's a good line.
Nice line. So they will be, I presume they're doing something next week that will build up their match in Atlanta.
Yeah.
February 8th, I think.
Okay.
I think it is. It's in the back of my.
Are you going?
Yeah, I'm going.
Okay.
I am definitely.
Oh yeah, you definitely going because the way you be talking about Duluth, you're like, oh, you if you hadn't been going, oh, I'd have been on your ass. Like,
Yeah.
all this shit you been talking about, they don't never come here. Then they finally come here. You're like, it's fucking Duluth. It's not even in Atlanta. It's way north, east or whatever else. It ain't even easy to get off the highway to go do that. Whatever. They actually in Atlanta. You gotta go.
Oh, I'm going for sure. I want to see
that shit. Get your ass in the car, drive up there.
I'm trying to see Swerve buzz his head, so might jump in if he needs me, might have to help,
Look, man, don't look. Don't go out here and get stuck at Scissor Point by your own brethren, okay?
So after that, we had highlights of last week's main event, Moxley and Hobbs. We saw the face-off between Hobbs and Bill on Collision. I heard they went fucking crazy. They was fighting all throughout the night at Collision. And it's like they're fighting backstage, they're fighting in front of the crowd, they're fighting in the parking lot. And basically, like, Hobbs said, come find me or whatever. This is a challenge.
Yeah. Because he did mention, come find me and you can meet me. Like, he thinks that I'll be in the parking lot or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Or I'll be backstage, something like that, he said.
So we had a geek ready for the next match. He was already in the ring, the stars in the ring already,
yep.
Some guy. Then MJF made his entrance and basically told him to get the hell out the ring. The jobber basically bounces, and then MJF said Jeff Jarrett owes an apology to everyone for his actions last week, especially MJF. When MJF said he'd help Jarrett win the world belt and won the first shot, it wasn't because he believed in Jarrett. It was because he thought he'd be the easiest to beat. MJF said if he thinks he can do it on his own, he's as senile as he looks. By the time Claudio is done with beating his brains in next week, Jarrett will realize that pro wrestling don't love Jeff Jarrett no more. Neither do the fans, but sometimes you're better off making a deal with the devil than defying him. And then Hangman made his entrance and walked out there, and basically like he pulled that Shawn Michaels.
He told MJF to get out of his ring.
I was gonna say he pulled that Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 12 and told him to get the fuck out of my ring. And pointed. Oh
wow.
Hangman beats this nigga like it's Mid-Atlantic or some shit. Like, this nigga gives no comeback.
Bro, like, he hit him with like a big boot and like clubbed him a couple of times and hit a regular ass lariat and pinned him. Wasn't a buckshot in there. That was a regular ass lariat.
I loved it. I was like, yes, more of this. Ass whooping, execution.
And then after he pinned him, he started whooping. He gave him the Chris Daniels
Angel's wings.
Angel's wings, except it looked like he actually dropped him on his head.
Yeah. And then Christopher Daniels' music hits, and then at this point I'm like, why? You stay away from that man. And then Hangman went up and asked if you want him to beat his ass again.
You want some more, old man?
Exactly. Daniels said he never wanted to fight him. He realized he was just pouring gas on the fire, but his ego escalated this as he regrets facing Hangman, the most violent man in the most violent match. After the last buckshot lariat and their Texas death match, doctors advised him to never wrestle again. Daniels said Page wins, like you win, and he won the last match that I'll ever wrestle in. He apologized to him and he hopes Page can be happy now. Hangman had this sad ass look on his face. His eyes kind of softened up a little bit, as the folks that you mentioned earlier, James, would tell you. And it looked like this rare moment of Hangman of being like, fuck, have I taken this too far?
It's the same thing of like, I regret what I've become. Like the same thing like when the gas.
What have I become?
Yeah, it's like the same thing happened after the gas. After he's gonna come back into the thing after like the lights out cage match, where it's like, yeah, you've gone too far. You think you're still a good person, but because you're so blinded by vengeance and rage and anger that you don't realize like the damage you have left. And then like these little moments remind him that like he's lost his humanity. This is why I like this character so much. And like this is why like I wasn't rushing for him to become a champion like this. Like this is more compelling in this way. Like obviously he should have done so many fucking jobs, but you get my point. Like this whole thing of like him, like, the difference between him and Swerve is really cut from this to do this. And that's how he got to where he got. And like, he's realized he's done terrible things and he's okay with that. And he can live with on the back end people coming after him. Hangman ain't built for this. Hangman was never built for this. And like, he is slowly realizing at different points in time that all this shit he's doing, he ain't really cut for this like Swerve is. And that also is making him madder while this is going on. This is why I like this so much. Like, he had to become this to finally beat Swerve. And at the same time, it's like, I've lost myself in this at the same time, and I hate myself in a way. Like, I love this. So yeah, like I think this ultimately gonna lead to people I think it's gonna lead to him coming back to eventually someday realizing this and being like, I've lost myself completely. I need to get away from this. I hate myself. I don't want to hate myself anymore. Like, I got a kid, another one on the way, apparently. Like, nah, I can't. What? I like this a lot. I really do. Now, hopefully MJF don't fuck this up. But,
So let's talk about that. Potential MJF Hangman Page feud. This feels so long overdue. Like, this should have happened in 2022. It feels like
they teased this,
or 23.
They teased this at the end of 2023 when they were doing the Who's the Devil thing before when we all knew it was Adam Cole, when they were still trying to be like, is it Swerve? Is it Hangman Page? They teased it then. And I thought, like, oh God, like, they're extending this devil shit and you're going to put Swerve and Hangman into it. And luckily, it didn't happen. But yeah, they've been floating around this for a while.
This should be like a generational feud. Obviously, they've always been on.
But one person is a thoughtful artist, the other one's a hack.
Yeah. And it's like, hopefully, like, the person that's the thoughtful artist gets the ideas through in this kind of stuff, because the MJF material feels like we've seen it all. We've seen his movies, and I think that's the thing that Jeff Jarrett brought up about him. Mm-hmm. It was like, bro, you are really afraid that you've already shown your best and you have nothing else, and you're not even fucking 30 years old. Like, you're afraid that you're a has-been already. Like that. Ah, man, that's the compelling portion, right? Yeah.
So, like, this is what I meant was saying, like, this is why I like this episode of Dynamite, except for the main event post-match. Like, as much as I hated the stuff they did with Jarrett and MJF last week, they basically scrapped the parts that I hated, and they're going into a direction where I like, okay, like, they're quickly kiboshing. It seems they're basically throwing up smoke signals to me, like they're quickly kiboshing this idea that like Jarrett is going to get a title shot or whatever else, or is going to be at some big point. And like, they're also kind of giving me smoke signals like they're not actually going to go with Jarrett MJF as some like thing needs to be on pay-per-view or something that's special. They'll get it done with and then move on. And then like, they'll have two people that like should be, in a generation, or in a, important AEW singles feud between MJF and Hangman Page. So I really like this. Yeah. Like, I think they realize, or maybe I'm, hoping against hope, but like, I think they realize like, no, there is no real legs in MJF and Jarrett. And if we ever thought that, we were insane for thinking that in the first place. So this was much better than when I was like, are you really going to do this as some real feud for MJF? Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, a lot of MJF's feuds have felt directly out of the MJF verse, and I think Hangman is so strong wrestling and character wise that I don't think he necessarily has to play by MJF's rules per se. Like, he's like
MJF needs Hangman. Adam Page don't need MJF.
Correct.
And there's also this part where it's like MJ, regardless of all the stuff that we've been so frustrated with MJF over the last year plus. We still know he's very talented, and like, I quite frankly think you need somebody next to MJF or up against MJF so that he stops.
So he remembers who the fuck he is.
Going towards this or what do you call it, like low hanging fruit stuff, and like actually like do inspired work. Like, there's a reason why his best work was with CM Punk. Regardless of what you think about CM Punk in backstage, she was doing AEW. He put on good television, and MJF had put on his best television with him. Like Cody, same thing. Like even Jericho stuff. Like
Wardlow, Darby.
When he's with somebody that's going to give him a reason to give a fuck, or to give him to actually like step up his game, he actually kind of raises himself to that level. So if he ain't gonna do it with MJF, if he ain't gonna do it with Adam Page, he can probably get the fuck out the company.
there are a few other limited options there. But Mercedes was walking backstage for another celebration.
This was
for
great.
Mercedes. All Mercedes do is celebrate. So,
hey, when you celebrate, you wait for Vince McMahon?
I mean, yes, with that many belts, you could do one every week of the month.
I wasn't talking about kayfabe.
Stupid.
I'm a woman. I'm waiting for Vince McMahon. Yes. Anyway, it's going.
Renee asked her what's next. Monet always said she wanted to be a world traveling champion. She can't wait to see who steps up to face her at Grand Slam Australia. Then Harley Cameron again walks in.
This was great.
She walks in with a guitar and she sings to her. She wants to ride the Monet train, and for her to feel the wrath.
That was in look. I haven't seen JR's Twitter lately. Did he retweet that saying, "Yeah, ride the Monet train"?
I'm sure.
Did he retweet that and with a cowboy hat and a smiley face emoji?
He probably did.
Okay.
Monet said she's wrestled the very best, but Harley Cameron's never even won a match on AEW TV, so that's a hard no. Harley's dejected. Yep. Renee said it was a good song though. Harley.
No. You're missing out key points in this. While Mercedes is like absolutely not. While because there was like a hook and obviously there's a motif to it. It was a catchy motif, and like you can see Mercedes like kind of like nodding to it, and then all of a sudden like, as she walks away and goes to her locker room, you can hear her humming the melody that Harley was just playing. Like she caught the earworm and she actually liked it, but she's like, I'm not finna wrestle you. I'm Big Money Monet. You a geek. Go get you some wins. So yeah, I thought this. I really enjoyed this segment. It was a fun little segment.
I thought it was funny. I do think there's a chance we can see the match though.
Like in 6 months, maybe.
I mean, Harley Cameron is like one of Mercedes' training partners in real life, so I don't think this got thrown out there for nothing.
Oh, so it's gonna be Harley Mania? Like Walker Mania? Like she finally gets a win. She gets one win, and she can send her to like the Cinderella tournament.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna go like that. Like, okay, whenever she does win, the roof's gonna blow off.
This definitely Walker Mania. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not gonna come against Mercedes, but I could easily see her wrestling her in Australia for sure.
Okay.
Then we got Jamie Hayter and Julia Hart. Okay, now I would like everybody that fucking flipped out that we were calling the last time they got in the ring. We said that shit was ass.
Yep.
Right? I would like y'all to come back to the stage and tell me this is the same level that the other one was at. Oh, this one was better. So you are capable of like determining that there are this wasn't no Manami Toyota versus Aja Kong either. Let's get that correct too. But this was not what the fuck they put out there on January 1st.
This was a third match on a Road to Stardom show between a young girl and a top two in a faction. And it was, I'm finna come in here and clobber the shit out of you. And it ain't gonna be pretty. And I'm gonna throw you around. And it ain't gonna be pretty. And it's on you to build towards whole spots and get your little shit in and get the crowd behind you. And I'm gonna clobber you some more. And the crowd wants you to fight back. And you gonna fight back one more time. And I'm gonna put your ass away. That's exactly what this match was. This was a perfect match for what Julia Hart is capable of. This is my favorite Julia Hart match. I didn't know I even had one until I watched this match. Bro, I like this match so much. She was throwing her around, and I was like, I can already see people on. I didn't watch this match live, but I can already see people on Twitter about she hitting her too hard. No, this is what pro wrestling looks like when you ain't treating motherfuckers like they kids. So they was out here clobbering the shit out of each other. I love this match.
My favorite part came after the match.
And for those who are talking about that thing, she's too delicate. This ain't no worse than, actually, this is less than what Jamie was doing in 2019 to 17-year-old. I ain't trying to hear it. I got video clips on my phone of her knocking the shit out of Azumi. Get out of here.
So my favorite part came after the match where Jamie Hayter finally got to talk on the mic, but she clearly only got handed the mic to cut another one of these "we don't need you, motherfucker" Malachi Black promos that have just flooded this promotion. Colt cut one on Brody King. Ospreay cut one on Buddy Matthews, and then Jamie Hayter also recognized that there was poison, in the system essentially, and they turned this nigga to a dog. They played this video, and it's Brody, it's Buddy, and it's her.
Right after this, right?
Yeah, and it's a dog. It was like, yes, this nigga Malachi Black is an anamorph. Like this nigga's been turned to a dog here.
So like that. Look, with the match, the result, the match layout, the result, and the post match. Also, Rich, how many times have I told you like Jamie Hayter's a good fucking promo? You never know it. Right?
Yeah. I've heard
in a personality, but you never know in AEW. Anyway, well, you knew that based off Stardom, but you my point. Like, you never know if you never watch her in Stardom or anywhere else, PWE either, or Progress.
In the promo, she said she's not one to butter someone else's bread, but has a heavy respect for people like Hart who do what they want, moving to the beat of their own drum. Bro, at this point, I was like, where's she going with this? Yep. And then it clicked to me. I was like, oh, it's one of those we don't need that motherfucker promos. Yep. She said, but the spitting and the crap in her face or trying to kill her with an arrow, that doesn't fly with her. Whether Hart has two big men by her side now or she's all alone with no one beside her, Hart is still a tough biatch. She's 1-1. Hayter's 1-1. Whenever she wants it, she's up for the rubber match. Yep.
Yeah, man. This match for as a person that's watched her throughout in her whole career in AEW, this match did more for me to actually want to see her ever wrestle again than anything she's ever done before. When she was a fucking champion in this company before. Like this, I mean, nah, man. Like. You can still say, like, if you want to, you can be negative and be like, well, she's only ever had good matches with Chris Statlander and Jamie Hayter throwing her around. Okay, fair enough, whatever. But this match was not like those Statlander matches. Statlander was basing for everything, and she was doing her version of flippy stuff. This was meat and potatoes, basic wrestling that is just the visceral, universal language of professional wrestling. We are clubbing and throwing each other around. So I really enjoyed it. And her getting thrown away around on her neck like that, like it did more for me to be like, yeah, this is somebody worth investing in that way than the shit she was doing before. Like aesthetically, what she was doing with like the look with, the gothic stuff for House of Black, that's fine. I'm talking about like the character and what she has provided for you once the bell rings.
When it goes ding ding.
Yeah. This did more for me than anything she's ever done before.
Swerve is furious backstage, yelling in the camera. He said with Prince Nana screaming, in 2 weeks, the Lion's finally going to get his hands on a rodent. Swerve then says, maybe I'll catch him a little sooner than that. Then we got the vignette that I was talking about with Brody King, Buddy, and Julia walking the streets. Brody said for years they've had a voice to guide them. The voice was deafening, but now silent. Matthews said they're done living in the shadows. Hart said it's time to honor themselves. No leaders, no masters, no gods. She should have said no house. Just violence.
Nah, they still the house. We keeping that LLC, brother.
Yeah. Oh no, they're not. They're the hounds of hell.
Oh, okay.
So just violence, and when they bark together, and then they showed a dog in there. So James, you know what time it is.
Someone gonna steal the dog, heat on the dog.
It's time to get heat on the dog, baby.
God damn it.
It's time to get heat on the dog.
Time to get heat on the dog.
Someone got to steal the dog, bruh. Someone got to do it. I would never rest until I get my stolen dog storyline. Pick a dog, any dog. You can steal Larry. You can steal Cody's dog. I don't care who. Kevin Owens should definitely steal Cody's dog. That would be perfect for him. But yeah. Someone got to get a dog stole, bro. Like, keep bringing these dogs to the TV.
Does this have to matter? Does the dog stealing have to be? Is this only acceptable for you if it is major American professional wrestling?
No. I would love to see whoever wants to present it to me. Beggars can't be choosers here.
All right, I'm about to send you a message of somebody that they could do a stolen dog angle or a stolen dog angle, and you will fucking love it. Rich, check your messenger messages. I think you would.
That's right, Ziggy. You getting stole.
Oh, I didn't want you to say. All right. So for those who don't know, Josh Smith, he is training to be a professional wrestler for a while now, and everybody around me, because I'm a fan of wrestling, they see how I look now, and they're like, "Why did you?" And I'm like, "I'm too old for all that." But I always say, like, I do one match. I do a match with Josh Smith just so I can chop the shot for like a good 10-15 minutes. Well, that's a good buy-in right there. If I stole Ziggy, wouldn't it be? I take that frail ass dog, that sick ass dog, and cut a promo on that dog while I have it in my possession. Look, that might get Jamie to fly back down here from Minnesota to come watch that shit.
Can you wear an Atlanta Falcons number 7 jersey?
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it with you, Rich. I'm not doing that with you, Rich. Stop it.
Would you like me to print you up a Raw Mexico special?
No. In fact, no. Because I was going to say, I just thought, the reason why I paused was like, do I still have my old Michael Vick Atlanta Falcons jersey from when I was in high school? I do not. I don't. I got rid of it years ago. But no, I don't. I'm no part of that. It is just no jokes or whatever else. It's just me and Josh had some falling out or whatever else. He's been ducking me. I've been wanting to chop the shot and massage it for FOH for years. He don't want to have a match. All right, you don't want to have a match? Fine. I'll take your fucking dog. Now can I get my match? Give me what I want. Give me what I want.
This is insane. This is going off the rails.
Oh, man.
However, it is a better into the show than discussing Cope versus Pac would be. My fucking
yes,
God.
it is. Yes, it is. Oh, before we move on to that, I hope Josh plays this for Megan, so Megan Bill. What the fuck? Do you want to say? You want to use my dog for it?
That's right, Megan. You in the angle too. You got to cut a promo saying how much you need Josh to win the dog back.
Yeah, win the dog back. Oh my God!
Either win the dog back or don't come home. That's the promo.
This man got to be there, and I got to beat Josh to a bloody pulp.
You got to bring the dog out, taunt her with the dog, and then and then you look at Josh, be like, the dog not going nowhere, and then you got to like. Somebody got to hold the dog while you fight, I guess. This is where I come in. Like,
now you want to hold Ziggy? You don't even like dogs.
Even better. They gonna let that's for the heat right there, you know. You gonna let this person don't even like dogs. Hold on, what?
Oh my God.
And then the finish happens how the finish happens, and either I hand the dog back over.
I mean, no, there's only two options. Either Josh wins or I beat Josh so bad in front of Megan that Megan's just like, I can't. My husband's a bloody pulp.
Throw the towel in.
Yeah. Yes. And get 5 stars from Meltzer. He loved blood and people throwing in towels and families involved. He's already losing his mind from the Michael Oku and Ospreay Repro matches.
I love it.
Yeah. Talking about it's 5.5 star match. No, it's not, man. Have you ever seen a 5.5 star Will Ospreay match? I have. Those matches are not those matches. Stop it.
A 5.5 star match would probably be like 3 stars better than this main event.
Okay,
bro. This match gave me nothing, so I will give them nothing as well.
This match was a well thought out match from a guy that wants to get away with, well, he was doing this in WWE a lot, wants to get away with not doing much, and his storytelling is that he's old and he's selling a lot. And while I enjoyed this match, I got to a point where I was like, I know Rich hates this. In my mind, I was like, I know Rich hates this. So, but I enjoyed the match because of what it was and the way they were selling the neck, and ultimately what it led to with the post-match angle, which is his neck's fucked up. But the problem is, now that his neck's fucked up, it's going to be even worse, and that means he's going to do what in the match with Moxley?
He's going to fire up and try to fight through it.
No. He's going to sell forever to get to that point, Rich.
Yeah,
he's going to sell and sell and sell and sell and then fire up. But yeah, I did like this match. I didn't think it was a great match, but I did enjoy this match. I enjoyed the selling of it. And I would have liked this match if they didn't immediately lead to the beatdown.
Yes.
The beatdown made it, the post-match beatdown made it even, like, if you somebody didn't like this, if you like, whether you like this or not, the post-match brought it down.
Yeah, I was like, fuck all of this as I was watching the post-match. Jay White comes out there and immediately
got his ass whooped.
Signs up for a LeBron James U-Bum of the Month, Bum of the Week nomination.
I guess we know that now he's a babyface because he's just dumb as hell.
Yeah, he walks out. I'm just like, we haven't seen Jay White in weeks. Like, so they kicked the shit out of Jay White and Copeland pretty much. Just every Death Riders beatdown you've ever seen. And then it gets worse. Like, the Rock and Roll Express somehow are on the fucking screen, and I have Cash in my background tied up in the duct tape. So I saw this and I was like, they're taping niggas up again? What the fuck is going on here? So
did you miss the key detail that they had Cash in the chair tied up, and he was in his chair, and then Dax was also tied up in the chair, but he was on the ground over on side because Dax was so passionate to try to stop the concerto that he fucking fell over on his chair. I don't know if that's actually what happened during the scene, but like in my brain went to that's what happened. Is like he was trying to shake so hard to try to get free that he fell over and I fucking died. Fucking idiot.
Did Dax have his mouth taped as well or no?
His mouth taped. Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say if you were gonna tape one of the FTMR members' mouths up, who would it be?
It would be Dax.
Yeah. Okay.
Obviously.
So like they basically like taped this man up, and Rock and Roll was taped up too, and I was just like, I was like, what the fuck are we doing, man? Like, this is the reverse of how the show started off, and this is what everybody was saying on Twitter. It was like, bro, this is a tale of two promotions. What the fuck is going on here?
It is a big downer. It's a big downer. Like, given this should have been in the middle of the show, not the main event, not the opener. Like, if they had went off, if the main event had been the tag title change, the crowd would have popped crazy for it. The match had the same energy, everything. People would have popped big for Bobby Lashley getting the belt, being the tag champion. We hurt people. All that stuff. Also, Rich, I did not realize that was MJF rapping on that fucking song. When I realized that was him rapping on that song, it made that song even funnier. I don't know. I didn't realize that was
MJF. What you mean?
I'm sorry. MVP, not MJF.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I didn't realize that was MP rapping on that song.
Yeah, he's on it.
But once I realized that was him, it made it even better. We hurt people.
It's like him and West Side Gun and Smoke DZA, I think.
Oh, that was great. But yeah, like, if they had put that match at the end, and it put, like, if they just put that match at the end, like, instead of like letting the opening segment and the opening match be at the same spot, like, I think it works out different for the show. If you feel the show, like, I liked everything on this show pretty much except for the post match of in the main event. Everything else I pretty much liked.
Hope won the match if we didn't mention that.
Yeah.
Claudio gave Ricky Morton a concerto.
It was what? A spear to the back, because it was at the end. It was like, okay, Pac gives Cope a super kick to the back of the head. Pump kick to the back of the head. Edge escapes, gives Pac. I said Pac. Edge. I meant Cope. Cope. Spears Pac in the back. Gets up, spears him in the front, and then gives him like a. It was like a
TKO.
Yeah, it was a spinning fireman's carry cutter. Yeah.
Yeah, but this thing ended on a huge downer, and it was just like, I hate it. I don't know how many more creative ways I can say that I hate it, and I wish they would change it, and they're not changing it because promises were made, and here we are.
Just like, how many more times do the babyfaces get let out, get laid out by Death Riders? And like there hasn't been like a galvanizing force saying, fuck that. There's only like 4 of them. There's 20 of us. Let's all get together and beat the shit out of them one time.
What happened to the niggas that was defending the building that one time? Like they all got
outsmarted that one time, remember?
They all just disappeared, just been beat to hell. Like, where's Orange Cassidy? Like, you know.
I mean, he might still be in the ICU from all them fucking chemicals pouring down his throat, for all we know.
Yeah. Like, don't nobody else want? Everybody just walking around like it's okay.
I agree.
Yeah.
I guess that was what the purpose of this 12-man tag was. It was like, nah, man, no shit, no fair one. Whoop their ass the same way they've been whooping y'all ass.
It's funny because like the way this was done, it was like I clearly know FTR wasn't there. Like they did that shit a few weeks ago and just played it again. Like so, like that. Also,
you're in your mind, you're like they did that back when they first had Ricky and Bob weeks ago. Yep, probably.
So it's like, no, man. This is all.
Look. That's post production stuff we're not supposed to think about, but. Now I think about it, that probably is when they did it. But like, it doesn't bother me because I'm like, okay, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, and like, also like the part where Dax on the fucking ground killed me. How do you on the ground? What the fuck happened, man?
We just need Dax Harwood to get tortured in a new way every week. I think we would just have so much fun laughing. Like if he just became this klutz and that just like. Completely like just bought it but he don't know he buying it. That's the thing. He's just fighting like hell. Like everything's on the up and up.
Oh man.
Basically make him a bushwhacker, I think is kind of what I'm saying.
Bushwhacker Dax? Oh nah man. Come on. I think that's a step too far. If, when, and how do you think the Young Bucks get involved in this? Do you think they get involved in this?
No.
When do you think they come back?
Probably. I mean, pay-per-views in LA. So I would say pay-per-views in LA. So
I mean,
maybe the pay-per-view
like 5 weeks, right?
Yeah,
4 weeks,
March,
5 weeks.
I think it's March 9th. Yeah. So, I mean, it would be nice to have them back, but I don't know what role, because they said maybe they'll bring the belts to Dynamite, but who knows if that even matters. Like they said that to a camera backstage, like at a show. We know that shit clearly don't, carry over.
Do we know which New Beginning show they're going to be on?
I don't know which one. It's probably the second week of February, if I had to guess. So they've got a match with Naito and Hiromu, so if I'm them, I'd stay away. Just go to Japan, go to Osaka, and have fun. They clearly doing some other shit right now. So, anyway, I think that's a good place to leave it.
Oh, so that's in the show?
MLK, can we talk about the promotion disaster that is Grand Slam Australia? I think people should expect a glorified Collision. Like that's kind of what I've always kind of anticipated it being. I know people had it in their mind that it was a pay-per-view or something, but Grand Slam's never been a pay-per-view. I know Australia is very far, so it's like you got to get like production over there and stuff like that. But like
as you mentioned, Grand Slam's never been a pay-per-view, so it's been a Dynamite.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I think people talk themselves up a lot on this one just because. At first, I know it was a stadium show, and then they downsized the arena, and I'm like, well, like they don't have television there. Like, so what do you think was going to happen?
I didn't know that.
And they're in Brisbane, and maybe Sam can help us out.
Where is that?
I have no fucking idea. Maybe, like I said, maybe Sam can help us out and tell us the expectations of attendance. I would think they would probably do well, and it'll be very rabid because, you know, people don't show up in Australia every day. But there is like the fact that nobody knows exactly what time the show is going to air, the day they pick to do it on. These are all like mysteries, I think. And, you know, if I look at a match graphic of Kenny Omega and Ospreay against Kesha and Fletcher, I'm like, all right, cool. When's that match? I would not fucking know. Like, I'm like, oh, it's on February 15th. That's awesome. When can I watch it? Oh, we don't know. Just expect it to happen.
Oh, okay. So,
blind faith.
I mean, looking at a map and seeing how big Brisbane is, like, it's a big city. It's just the fourth biggest city you'd ever heard of in Australia. Like, you're used to hearing about Sydney, Melbourne, or Adelaide. So, like, okay. Like, when you said Brisbane, like, I have no idea where that was. Like, I'm looking at the map, be like, is it? Please tell me it's on, like, the east coast of the continent. Because if it was on the west coast, like, there ain't shit over there.
Right.
So, like, the fucking outback in the desert and shit.
Right.
And the dingoes and
dingoes.
I'm gonna stop right there. For
the dingo ate your baby.
Yeah, before you know Sam Twitter folks get on my ass, I'm gonna leave that alone. But yeah, I just never really thought about it before. Never really thought about it. I probably should have, but like I don't really think about them down there like that. no disrespect. Like
only person I think about is Sam.
Yeah. I don't know nobody down there except for look, wrestlers and Sam. That's it, and like some CrossFitters and and a couple basketball players. That's about it.
Steve Irwin, who's no longer with us.
Right.
Yeah. Should someone come out dressed as him? Should they like get like the heat?
I don't know if they. I don't know if that's a. I don't know.
Do they love him like that?
I don't know if he's internet. I don't know if he's a national treasure or not. I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't.
So they gotta really Aussie this thing up, man. We need to get some rugby players there. We need some cricket folks that we have no idea, like, but they get the big pop in the building. How else can they Aussie this thing up? Harley Cameron's got to be on the show. You got to bring her.
I'd imagine so.
You know,
I'd imagine so.
So like Jay White coming out makes me think he's gonna get some type of match.
Yeah, and it's gonna be on some like, he's oceanic, so whatever.
Yeah. Kyle Fletcher should get a pretty big reaction. Ospreay.
Yep, because based off of all the work he did down there.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
Well, is anybody remember when they did the first All In and they were like they should put indie UK wrestlers on the show?
Yes, bro.
Is anybody?
That is still some of the dummest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Is anybody campaigning for Robbie Eagles to get a match? No, I don't think I've heard it yet.
They should book Robbie Eagles. Yeah, Robbie Eagles is a great wrestler, but
that's beside the point,
bro. It's not even like they weren't even suggesting UK people like at the level of Robbie Eagles. Like they were just like suggesting random motherfuckers that are like third on the show at Progress and shit. Like, all right, man. Like we don't need them. Like, come on, man.
They're like, yeah, can we? Like, yeah, they need to put Big Daddy's nephew on here. I'm like, wait, what?
We don't give a fuck.
Speaking of like UK insignificant UKers, right? Is Saraya's brother still on the payroll?
If so, man,
do you ever have a match?
I believe he has. He's definitely had dark matches. I know that for sure.
He was around in the dark era.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, but you know, if he is still on the payroll, God bless him for keeping that check still, and hopefully we don't need to really see much of his work because I'm not. He does not inspire confidence. So,
got to figure out how to get an AEW check, man.
There's ways.
It seems easier than it should be.
There's ways. I mean, shit.
Look, non-music producer ways. I mean, like the wrestler check, not the music production check. You already got an AEW check. I get what you're saying.
What else? I mean, shit. You know, you just go to a show and like, who's that big motherfucker?
I don't think this works like how it used to work in the 80s.
All you got to do. Look, remember that story on how Juice said he met the game or some shit. He was like, yeah, it's just knocked out a security guard, like, and then.
Wow, that's funny.
Yeah, that GCW shit I saw with Karen Noir and Effie, where they were, I don't know if they were drinking an egg and like spitting it back and forth in each other's mouths.
I'm sorry, what?
It's very, very.
No. Start the story again.
It was like a hard-boiled egg, or not a hard-boiled egg, like a soft-boiled egg, and like I think they cracked it, and like one of them put it in their mouths, put it like spit it on the other one. The other one got it. Essentially, like it damn near like absorbed the power, damn near, and gave it back. It's just like, all right, man. This is not Bret Hart Pro Wrestling. I don't think Luthez was thinking of this with he's going up and down the roads.
Since you mentioned Effie and GCW.
Talk about that terrible show.
I mean, do you want?
Fuck no! I didn't watch none of that shit, but I heard it was very bad. It has like one of the worst matches in the history or worst show ratings in the history of Cage Match. Apparently, it was worse than the last time they showed up there, which you would think that would be impossible to top. I think GCW is a joke promotion, and I would never want to like. Watch it. Essentially, like I thought it was like I remember I was like, all right, I'm gonna give him that one shot that last time.
The first Hammerstein one or Hammer.
Yep. And I was like, all right, well, let's see it. And then I saw it, and I was like, well, I've seen enough.
Wasn't that one called The World at the time?
Yeah, I think so. GCW versus The World or some shit. They beat all their guys, and then like, nobody ever gave wins back, including Jeff Jarrett, which is actually a good thing. But GCW is not my speed.
Nor is it mine. Well, that's in the show. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you're watching from the stream, please be sure to go to our show notes on the podcast and go to the link to Red Circle, and you can donate to the show there. And be sure to listen to other shows on the network. Before I tell you about those other shows, go to the Chop Tees, and you can pick up a shirt or a hoodie similar to the one that Rich is wearing. The One Nation Radio 92 Dream Team inspired One Nation Radio hoodies and designs. So yes, pick that up. And listen to other shows on the network. Besides One Nation Radio, you have Keepin It Strong Style, All Things Elite, Imp's WWE Adventure, Wrestling Out with Chris Things. I believe Imp's WWE Adventure will have a better Royal Rumble preview than ours.
Absolutely.
Tunnel Talk in the Trish and Sarah Wrestling Podcast. Thanks for listening, y'all. Later.
Peace.
Some things you wouldn't mind being stuck with, like a huge inheritance. But a phone that has to be plugged in just right so it charges is not one of those things. Switch to Verizon and we'll pay off your old phone up to $800 via prepaid MasterCard for a new one on us. Just trade in any phone from our top brands with select unlimited plans. $829.99 purchase with new smartphone line on select unlimited plans. Minimum $90 per month with autopay plus taxes and fees for 36 months required. Less $830 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. Trade-in terms apply. Payoff phone requires smartphone purchase and port-in with new smartphone line on select plan. Must provide most recent bill showing payoff amount of eligible phone. Additional terms apply.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.